Hello and welcome to Read, Watch, Play, the show where we talk about superhero movies, comic books, and games normally. But today, as you can see, right? Oh my! We're now in stereo. But today we're going to talk all about San Diego Comic-Con, all the news that came out, all of the trailers, and the excitement and everything awesome. We're calling it our San Diego Comic-Con Bonanza. I love saying Bonanza. I am Tony Cox, and with me as always,
Clifford Parmenter.
And he's not letting me say it because I'll get it wrong.
That's right.
So Cliff, how have you been? How was your week? I was going to jump right into it, but I kind of want to know,
Good. We have a lot to talk about for San Diego Comic-Con.
We do. Exactly. So let's jump right into it. So
notice I didn't answer his question.
Usually that means it's been going great. All right, so first up, let's talk about... Oh, Andrea is in the chat, and he actually was at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, my God.
And I'm hoping... He cosplayed as Mario. You still owe me a picture, buddy. You owe me a photo of you cosplaying as Super Mario. Post the link in the chat, because I gave you permissions to do that. And hopefully, Andrea will maybe write a little report about his trip to San Diego Comic-Con. As Wario? Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, there we go.
That's even better. Oh, I can't wait. So hopefully Andrea's going to write us up a little report for the Kerwin's website. Speaking of Kerwin's, as you can see up here, we're sponsored by Kerwin's Game Store, the best place in gaming, and sleeves, according to Dan Ward. Of the Weekly Ward, by the way, which you can watch every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So first up, as you can see here behind me is Star Trek Discovery. Now, you and I have not been on the same page with what we've seen so far.
No, I've been on the I'm intrigued, I'm loving it, and you were on the I don't know, it doesn't feel right, and now.
So they released. They had a great panel.
I definitely read about the panel.
Yes, I read about it. I haven't had a chance to watch it, which I'm very excited to watch it.
The savagery.
And I saw the new trailer that was released.
Mm-hmm. Which I missed.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Because I did not like the first trailer.
Correct.
It was not, it did not. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. It's probably the number one property that I worship. And I have a PhD in Star Trek. Feel free to post trivia questions in the chat and try to stump me. I doubt you can. So I have not been excited about this. The trailer, not only did I think the execution was poor, I thought that the acting was poor, the writing was poor, and just from what I saw in the trailer. And again, I could be completely wrong.
It was supposed to be in the new movie universe. It didn't feel that way.
It's not in the new movie universe. It's in the Prime universe, but it looks like it's in the new movie universe.
Oh, is that? Oh, really? Because there was a lot of things there that felt Prime universe to me.
Oh, really?
From my reading about the panel.
Yes. So I'll be honest with you. This trailer was awesome.
There we go. You can't wait to sign up for CBS now.
I'm gonna watch it anyway. I don't care. Here's my $6. I'll skip Starbucks once a month and watch all this stuff. I really enjoyed this trailer. It gave us a little bit more insight. We got to see Jason Isaacs' character, Captain Lorca, I think his name is. He's the actual captain of the Discovery, and to see sort of the gravitas that he brings to it as the captain. And I'm excited that he's not the main character, that Sonequa Martin Green is the main character, Lieutenant Commander Michael Burnham, and that it appears that she plays a pivotal role in possibly the beginnings of the war with the Klingons. And I'm very excited about the prospects of watching this character.
What did you think of the look of the Klingons? Because apparently that's been a big deal. I've seen the new pictures, and their heads are more intriguing than ever.
And they're very similar to the Kelvin timeline Klingons from Star Trek Into Darkness. Mm-hmm. And so here's how I feel about it. I personally am not super excited about changing the Klingons, but I'm not that concerned because
if you think about the first Klingons we ever met,
so the first Klingon
it was
we ever
just
meet
great
in TOS was literally just let's throw a little twirly mustache on them
and some green eyeshadow.
We'll put them in these shiny warrior 60s looking costumes, and then we'll go to town. We'll give them IBS, and then make them all cranky, and those are Klingons. Then in Star Trek The Motion Picture...
Yep, we got Klingons.
In the beginning, we see the ridges, and then we don't see them ever again until Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, and Christopher Lloyd, of all people, becomes the prototype Klingon for the rest of the movie series, for all of the Next Generation, DS9, Voyager.
Which, by the way, I rewatched all the first 4 original movies on Netflix about a month ago. Mm-hmm. 3 is so underrated.
It really is.
The thing is, 2 is so built up that people just were like, oh yeah, 3. No, 3 is actually really good.
So 2 is an amazing
5
movie.
5 is
in
terrible.
General.
I couldn't even.
4 is a great comedy romp.
Yep.
Fish out of water, and then in the middle you have this underappreciated bridge between the two, and where Kirk has to hijack the Enterprise and go save Spock, who he doesn't even really know if he's going to be there when he gets there, and he ends up destroying the Enterprise.
Yep. And losing his son.
And what's amazing is the juxtaposition of at the end of and his son gets killed by Klingons. It's insane.
Which is actually really good for 6.
Yes. Spock sacrifices himself at the end of 2 to save the Enterprise. And then in 3, the Enterprise sacrifices herself to save Spock. Yep. It's poetry. It's amazing.
It is. It's really good.
So we've seen Klingons change in the past. So it's like, okay, well, we'll see some new Klingons, whatever. However, the thing that irks me the most is that in Star Trek Enterprise, they explain why Klingons look the way they do in TOS.
By the way, don't forget Deep Space Nine did that as well.
Well,
because they had the original Klingon guy on,
so
that was still.
But they don't explain it in those episodes.
They did not until it's a little taste though.
No.
It's a little taste.
It's not until the 30th anniversary episode, Trials and Tribulations, Deep Space Nine, when they go back in time to the Trouble with Tribbles episode of TOS, and there's some intermixing, and they're all sitting on Space Station K7's lounge bar. And they see Klingons for the first time, and all of the humans are like, those are Klingons? And then they all turn and look at Worf, who's there, who's got a little cap on, and he's hiding. And Worf simply says, they're all asking, is it genetic mutation? Is it this? Is it that? And Worf simply says, yes, they are Klingons, and we do not discuss it with outsiders. And that's it. That's the only explanation they ever give.
And you're right, Enterprise is the one.
And then in Enterprise, they explain that it actually has to do with Khan, his people, the augments, and that the Klingons saw an opportunity to use augment genes to enhance the Klingons. And because they're intermixing human genes and Klingon genes, it creates a virus that removes the forehead ridges and creates over-aggressive Klingons. And that just blows my mind. The writing and the way they tied it in together was amazing.
And this is why we were able to achieve peace with Klingons eventually.
Eventually, because they all sort of were healed, and that's why you can have Kor and Kang, who were in the original series and didn't have ridges. Later on in Deep Space Nine, 100 years later, they do have ridges because they were healed of the virus. And that is all explained in that Star Trek Enterprise story arc. And it's just brilliantly told. And then you go, okay, the Kelvin timeline, all right, whatever, sure, okay, we'll explain, well, whatever, that's a different universe. But now we're in the Prime timeline, and these Klingons look nothing like the Prime timeline Klingons either way. And it's a little, just personally, it's a little whatever. If it's good storytelling, I'll forgive almost anything. If it's good storytelling.
I feel like we're headed towards good storytelling.
And they said at the panel that they hired superfans and Star Trek writers to basically check canon, to make sure that everything they're doing is within the canon that's already been established, which I think is fantastic. That shows to me that they're going to take a chance on some stylistic stuff to make it look like a 2017 show, which is fine. I'm okay with that. The Enterprise did the same thing to an extent. But they're going to respect the canon that's come before and try to tie it in together. And I'm a big believer that when you restrain creative people, that it makes them more creative.
No, right, because you're in a box.
Exactly.
Right? Like the guy who used to design, I know this is going to be weird for people. The guy who used to design for, oh my God, Mommy Dearest, the movie is based on her. Betty Davis and Joan Crawford.
Yes.
Okay, so Joan Crawford had huge shoulders, right? So the guy who designed outfits for her, because all these other designers were like, oh, Joan, like the shoulders, we can't. In the meantime, what does she know? As a freaking style icon, right? Because when she was at her peak in prime, and she was the hottest thing ever, she had the hottest designer ever designing for her huge shoulders all the time. But that was, and I wish I could remember his name right now, but he is a perfect example of someone who went on to say, I wish more people had to were forced into a corner because you would start having ideas. And look what he did. He made her shoulders beautiful. He made her long and elegant. He emphasized all of her best qualities and those beautiful cheekbones. That guy did almost a one-man show. But, yeah, I know, that's not for everybody. But the point is that restraint, you're absolutely right, it works.
When you restrain it, it helps people more creative. And I hear these movie pundits, they say, oh, well, if all the Marvel Universe is connected, it's going to tie the hands of these directors and these writers and blah, blah, blah. And
I think it's only
all
made
it does is it forces them to be more creative.
Look what they've done. Look what they've done. Ant-Man becomes a what do you call it?
A heist film?
A heist film, right? Spider-Man: Homecoming becomes like
teenage,
like the 16 candles of Spider-Man, but in a great way. Like these things transform themselves. The original Guardians of the Galaxy, it just becomes this 80s love ballad, rock opera, and space thing. It's just cool.
So this trailer was a huge woo for me, and I'm getting more and more excited about this, not just because of what I saw in the trailer, but what I read from the panel and from the cast, and how much passion and heart they're putting into this, and how much passion and heart that the creative team is putting into it. So
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. All right, so next up, we're not going to change gears very much. We're going to talk about the Orville. So they released a Comic-Con trailer, which I thought was funnier than the first trailer.
Yes. Although the first one's very funny already.
The first one is funny, but that's a little bit more like Seth MacFarlane style humor. This one I felt like delivered a really solid, like, here's the premise of the show, and here's the type of comedy you can expect. With the when the alien guy is like, we're gonna destroy you, and the other guy's like, yeah, we're not gonna be out by 5 today. Like, that's like, I love that sort of like working class humor of like, it's gonna be a bad day at work, I'm gonna have to stay late tonight, like, I'm not gonna get to go out with the guys, or not gonna make my poker game or something. Like, I love that kind of humor. I think that's hysterical, bringing that sort of like that mundane humor to these like epic moments, and I think that's hysterical. So what did you think of this new trailer?
There's just not that much to say. Like, I already was on board with the humor.
Yeah.
They continue to deliver. And like you said, like the first one was very much like Seth MacFarlane. But of course, Seth MacFarlane is our star. Yeah. Right? So, like, of course, the humor was very centered around him. Yeah. And this one was great. Yeah, and absolutely, like you said, it kind of like almost a little tinge of that Office humor.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So.
And, and then, of course, like, but also just what I liked was a nice thin stream of seriousness and tonality.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh my God, we're not going to be out by 5 today. But this guy certainly is here to destroy us.
Right. And what I like about this is the marriage of those two things. That sort of like wacky, absurdist humor with, the serious dramatic tones of a real like sci-fi show. I mean, I really believe that this is like the next generation, Star Trek: The Next Generation meets Galaxy Quest in all the best ways.
I really hope so.
I think it's
even Next Generation had episodes that were just light, and that were good.
Well, and Deep Space Nine even, they
definitely
went so far as to comment on Star Trek and to sort of poke fun at it a little bit at times. times. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a great one of my favorite episodes is Our Man Bashir, I think is the name of the episode, and Dr. Bashir is on in the holosuite, and he's doing his like James Bond style holo program and Garrick is there, who is an actual spy for like an alien or an alien government or used to be. And
he still is.
And Garrick says, "Oh, we're on the holosuite. What could possibly go wrong?"
Oh
and it's like famous last words because like every season there'd be the episode where the holodeck malfunctions, you know. And I love that there's that sort of like you slide in that a little bit, you know. And they did the same thing with the Trial of Tribulations when they go back in time for the 30th anniversary episode, and they even say, you know, like they're wearing the different colors. You know, they're getting dressed up in the TOS era uniforms, and Bashir is saying like, "Aren't you two wearing the wrong color?" Because they in the Next Generation they switched colors, and you know, one of them says, "Don't you know anything about this time period? You know, we wear this color and they wear that." And Bashir says, "I'm a doctor, not a historian," which is like a Bones, you know, which is like something Bones would say. You know, it's just you know, and then like Dax, who one of her, you know, her symbiont was alive in this in this period, so she's commenting on the style and everything, and she even makes a crack about Dr. McCoy and how he had the hands of a surgeon and all this stuff. So it's you know, they really push the envelope with that style, and I feel like this is going even beyond that. It's not taking itself too seriously, but the stakes are serious for them, and I think that's really exciting. So again, Andrea says Seth MacFarlane's show looks gas, which is good. So this card is gas. All right, so next up. I forgot to get a graphic for that, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about
CW-ness.
CW. So Legends. By the way, did you catch the Dragon Balls? The Dragon Ball reference. I watched it and I said, wait a second, and then I went back and paused it, and these I'm assuming they're like
it looks like they're at a fair or something. Yeah.
They're at the circus, I think, and there were two big balls, and one of them had one big. They were yellow balls with red stars, and one had like 4 or 5 stars, and the other had 1, and I was like, those are Dragon Balls. That's amazing. Balls. So
also, Buona Beast was in the trailer as one of the circus performers.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
So, of all the DC characters, I wasn't expecting Buona Beast.
So educate me a little on this. Were there nods? Because I know that there was a character revealed at the end of that trailer.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
I'm driving myself crazy trying to figure it out.
So I briefly looked her up on Wikipedia, and it appears as though she's from Africa, and she has some kind of a totem of her own.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that perhaps she's a Vixen villain at some point.
Actually, well, it's funny. I think she's an Animal Man villain.
Really?
Yeah, but remember, because they draw their powers from the same place.
I'm not too familiar with,
and that's okay because it's Legends of Tomorrow, and it's fine.
But
I like it. I love that they're picking up these characters and playing with them. I like that we have this mysterious villain that has their own totem power, and I think this is a better way to tell it than what we had going on in Arrow. That season, I tell you, so many missteps. The other thing I like
the season with Constantine.
That one episode was wonderful, and so much other stuff was wrong.
Yeah.
You know? Vixen shows up in that season to help Green Arrow to take the totem, and they succeed, and they destroy it, and Damien Dark loses his power. And what does freaking Oliver do? Bring all the pieces home and put them back together in the lair so that this guy can get his henchman to break him out and steal it back later. Writer's room, wake up. What superhero is that stupid? Would you assemble the evil villain's superpower totem that gave him telekinesis and super strength that was horrifying you? Right, no. You take half of that and you throw it into the sun, okay? And you just, get Smoke Enterprises or Palmer Tech or Queen Industry to build go to Central City.
Or Cord Industries. There's enough industries.
Go to Central City, have your buddies build a rocket, fire it into the sun. get the Flash to speed around the circle and throw it into another dimension. Why did you keep it? And guess what? Laurel dies. So who do I blame? Oliver. Dumbass. Anyhow.
So,
That's as vile as my voice gets.
What I was going to say about Legends of Tomorrow
Yes.
is I love that they pick up these, like, not B-list, not C-list, like D-list characters.
It's a blend of B through D.
Universe.
It's a blend.
But they pick them up and they just run with them.
Yep.
And they've introduced me to so many new characters in the DC Universe that I had no idea existed. And I absolutely love it. And I'm very excited. It's such a quirky, like, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The first 6 episodes of the first season, I was like, okay, this is
No, the first season is yeah.
and even the first season, but I saw the potential and I saw where it could come together and I saw where, you know, and it kind of had that Star Trek-y feel where it's like they're all on a ship together. There's a captain, like, you know, it's like, all right, giving orders.
He's kind of a Time Lord.
Yeah, or yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge Doctor Who fan at all.
But you get
I
it.
get the reference.
And you know he knows he's a former sidekick.
Yes, I know that. Legends of Tomorrow was great. Arrow.
Very good. All right, so I guess I can get to Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. I guess my biggest problem is I felt like basically what we're seeing was just like a bunch of clips of where they are at in like the first maybe if I'm being generous, 3 episodes. You know?
Sure. Well, they also, in each trailer, they also sort of recapped a little
what
bit.
was going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Arrow, so good. Everything I wanted. People are dead everywhere. His son is horribly traumatized and living with him and hating him. It's everything. Everything. Season 5 was phenomenal. I hope they can keep it going. It's like, Deathstroke is his partner. Oh my God.
When they shake hands, they're like, wow, and they're nodding at each other.
I told you, you know what my dream is, right? When I just want them to do it. That Arrow should tie into Titans when it reaches, you know, WB streaming.
That would be
because
really cool.
Jericho is Slade's son. I
Right.
want to see Slade on Titans. I want it to happen, and of course,
I wonder if they're gonna do that because
they
there was a
should
hint.
because
Well,
it's so good.
well,
This is
remember
what I
when
would
he
do.
goes-
I would have Hive come back with a new leader, right? They kidnap Deathstroke, who's all goody two shoes. Pump him full of Mirakuru, mess with his head, and be like, they have your son. Don't you understand? Don't you want to help us? And attack the Titans. You know? Go after them, just like in the comics. Poisoning them at their jobs, busting through windows, fighting nearly to the death with Nightwing. That was a good storytelling. What are we getting? We're getting freaking Deathstroke and freaking Batman later. Maybe.
No, but probably not now. But anyway, we'll talk about that too.
Fight the Titans.
So no, but at the end of season 5, in that last episode of Arrow, he says he has a lead on his son.
Yes, which would be so great.
I
So
mean-
he's buddy with Oliver in season 6 of Arrow, and then the WB starts unrolling its streaming services, gives us Titans, and then just when we're getting all sauced up and all the greatness that's happening, Raven's trying to bring them together. Don't mess with their history. Or Starfire shows up with the Gordanians. Y'all better have good special effects. But whatever the case is, we get started. We get the ball rolling. We got a little taste of what's going on with the Titans. Okay? They meet this guy, Joe, who can't remember who he is or some... whatever the whole story is. And then, boom! Deathstroke. Give me back my son. Oh,
I like it. Hopefully, the creative team is watching us.
oh my God. Do you know what'd be even more sick?
Oh, no.
What if
What?
we do the Ravager story where the one son is murdered while he's Ravager? Right? And then he blames the Titans because Hive is messing with him.
It could go in any number of directions.
Just tell me my ideas aren't fantastic. Because that's
they are
what I
fantastic.
want. That is what I want.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah, everything else is going to be sad.
I'm super excited about Arrow. I feel like they're back on track to where they were in the first couple seasons. I just hope Slade sticks around for at least a handful of episodes.
Half
I
the
really
season
want
will be...
him to be
listen,
there.
he could be in the whole season because when is Titan supposed to come out? Like, you know...
I'm not entirely sure. We haven't heard anything.
Like
or seen
2018 is
anything.
Titans and Young Justice on roll. What am I using? Unroll? Our
rolling
debut?
out?
Rolling out.
Rolling
out. When they roll out.
Like
they
like
debut.
Transformers rolling out.
Yes, they debut and roll out. Yes.
So let's talk about Flash.
Flash. Okay, again, that felt
Because I know you were not wooing.
Oh no, I was booing
season.
the finale of season 3 of Flash. Y'all are on the watch list, okay? Because I already abandoned Walking Dead for the dead, okay? Flash, you could be next. So,
Andrea, I can only recommend that you just start with season 5, and the show dramatically shifts and changes. You can easily pick it back up in season 5, and then by the end of season 5, you'll be right back into it. So,
yep, it's great. Just you get a recap of season 4. You don't have to torture yourself, and you just jump right in.
Yeah. So Flash.
So this literally felt to me like this is the first episode of the new season. That's what you get, and that's how we're going to start things off.
So let me ask you this: do you think that by the end of the first episode, Barry's back? And
Absolutely. You know why, right? Because these shows do not have the cojones to run a show without the star. Okay? They murdered Oliver, okay, in the season, the season 3 cliffhanger of Arrow, the mid-season cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So he's left for dead. He is alive in the next freaking episode while we're watching his team suffer in Starling City, before they renamed it, suffer in Starling City and not getting anything done and struggling. So, and then that's exactly what's happening in Flash. Right? They're struggling, and there's this new superpowered samurai who's after them, and it's like, you're not the real Flash. I want the real Flash. Send him to me, or you all die. Because Cisco, with all of your amazing powers, and Kid Flash, you're pathetic without Barry. You know? And Caitlin in the background like nothing happened. I need to go discover myself. And what I discovered is I need to be sitting right behind the computer console with all of y'all all again. I'll just put on some lipstick to hide that I'm cold.
So,
Writing wrong. Get it together.
I was on the opposite side of the finale. I very much enjoyed it. I was very excited. They got me. They sold it to me. I bought it. I loved it. I thought it was a great finale. I saw this trailer and I said, I don't like this.
Right.
I want real consequences. I want real struggle. I don't want to
you
know if Barry's coming back.
You know what I actually really enjoyed though? It looked like Barry was coming back too. Like it was just so like I can't even. But you know what I loved? I loved Iris did the narration, right? Mm-hmm. She said, I'm Iris West. She took his name, right? And then she goes into...
No, she says, I was supposed to be Iris
West. I was supposed to be Iris West.
I was supposed to marry the fastest man alive.
Right. I loved her intro. I'm actually getting chills. That was the best part of the whole thing.
It was.
That was the best part. Watching Iris struggle because she feels that she has to step up as a leader was great.
What I love is that she's the only one in the trailer and the only one of us watching it that doesn't think Barry's coming back.
Yeah,
which is what I want to feel. But then they showed me Barry running in the trailer, and I'm like,
well, I know, but that could have been any image of Barry running. Like it looked like the special effects they've used 100 times before.
I just hope that when Cisco's screaming, it's him, or here he comes, or whatever, that it turns out to not be him.
Oh, that'd be so great.
I want disappointment.
Do you know it'd be so horrifying? You know? It's him! Airborne! Ah! That would be... You know what? I would be okay with that. As long as it was only for like 2 episodes.
Sure. So Supergirl.
Kara is left devastated because she had to give up the love of her life so that she could save the planets. Mm-hmm. You know? Something that Superman admitted he would have trouble doing,
which she mentions in this trailer. She says he couldn't make. I'm assuming she's referring to Superman.
Yeah,
saying that he couldn't make that sacrifice, or he couldn't make that choice, and she couldn't live with herself if she didn't make that choice.
Yep.
And I love where this is heading. That she's starting to rethink.
Why did I ever have a secret identity?
Why bother? Why bother? I'm clearly not cut out for this fake life that I lead. I'm not human. I'm an alien. I'm Kryptonian. I might as well just be that all the time and just do my job. And I feel like this is like that classic, that sort of classic idea or classic trope in a good way of, something dramatic happening to somebody, and they're just like, I'm just going to focus on my work. I'm just going to focus on my work. And they're ignoring everything else around them.
Until they just can't anymore.
Right, until circumstances or whatever, or they find themselves completely unhappy or whatever. And
she's going to find herself unhappy.
Who is Adrian Posada playing?
He is playing Morgan Edge. Morgan
Edge?
is
he a character?
Absolutely.
Really?
He is a publisher. He is a media magnate in the DC universe. And in one iteration, he was the human disguise for Lord Satanus. So he could be all sorts of things. And he's rich. So more importantly, he is a threat to Lena Luthor.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, and what I loved is when they described his character, they said a threat to both Supergirl and Lena. Now, when we left Lena last season, she was very unhappy with Supergirl lying to her. She very much likes her friend Kara Danvers. She doesn't know how she feels about this woman, Supergirl.
Well, and what do you think she knows? She knows.
No, but she will.
Don't think she
Remember,
knows?
her mother, Luthor's mother, said,
right.
oh, come on. She
Right.
goes, and my daughter isn't stupid. She goes, and when she figures out how you've been lying to her, she's like, you'll have hell to pay. So don't forget
right.
that her mom called it.
And I think what it is I think that because of Kara's new attitude, post, season 2 finale, I think that's her not being Kara Danvers is going to damage her relationship with Lena.
Yes.
And that's going to open up this can of worms, and we're going to get... What I'm excited about is I want to see...
It can have an opposite effect, by the way. Right?
Oh,
because,
possibly.
of course, they always want us to be on our toes about Lena turning on Supergirl.
Well, that's
right?
what I want. I want that classic Superman
but-
Lex
right,
relationship
but-
with Lena and
But at the
and
same
Kara.
time, don't you think it should be the opposite? Don't you think? I mean, she doesn't share DNA with Lex, so it's not like she literally that DNA calls in her to be a D-bag like her mother and Lex.
No,
right?
they have the same father.
But they have the same father, but the father was the weak one, as the mother explains.
Oh,
right?
damn.
So I want to believe that Lena will fight that programming, that she doesn't want to go down the same steps and be that person.
That's fine. That's a more interesting struggle.
I want the more interesting struggle of Lena says, I must fight being a Luthor. Then become Supergirl's friend. And I want you to know the first iteration of Lena was Supergirl's friend. And the most horrible thing, I think the family changed their name to Thorol, right? And so her parents lived okay, and they lived in secret. And Lena became good friends with Supergirl when she was Linda Danvers living in Chicago, I believe. And every time she would see her, Supergirl's thought bubbles would be, oh, and I know the truth. I know you're Luthor's sister, and I just can never tell you because it might be too heartbreaking. And so it would always break Supergirl's heart a little bit every time she saw Lena because she's hiding the truth from her. She's hiding the truth from her, And I mean, this is a different version, far. I mean, one version of Lena was even Lex's daughter, in the comics, that Brainiac even kidnapped. So we've got a lot of different versions of Lena to play with. I like this actress. I like the Lena we have. And I like the idea of her struggling to be the better person and become Supergirl's ally. I think there's a great story there.
Yeah,
and I think we have a lot of, just like we had Manel's mother, last season trying to manipulate her and get the worst out of her. I feel like we still have characters who are going to come and challenge her. Morgan Edge will be the latest one to challenge her. And you know what? I was really missing Maxwell Lord from season 1. I mean,
that's true.
In season 2, I was actually looking for him. And now we have Morgan Edge, and I'm like, yes, I want this. I just want this. I feel, this Cheetah Man thing happening.
And what's interesting is I love Adrian Posada. He was on Heroes. I thought he was great on Heroes. He's General Talbot in Agents of Shield. He's again. I'm going to use this word gravitas.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel like the guy who played Maxwell Lord, not so much.
No, he didn't. But he was fun, and he was but he felt like a watered down Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But I still missed him because he
felt like the Bud Light of Lex Luthor.
Right, but he still added something to a scene, and there was that one scene where he's having dinner with Alex, right? And she goes, I don't know why I told you all that. And he wipes the blood from his nose. And we never go back to that scene We never go back to it.
Right.
Yeah, so it was implied that he has the mental push power and just doesn't talk about it and doesn't reveal that he's a meta. You know, and then we dropped his character like, you know, a hot brick.
Yeah, why?
Because
Anyway.
they moved the show to Canada.
Maybe just yeah.
So issues, just like we have a replacement for Allura
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the actress who played Allura
is on a new show.
Well, yeah, she's
in
working
LA.
In
New York. No, it's New York. It's New York. You're right. So yeah, she's way too far away.
Not too, yeah,
Well, they
not
can
too bad.
hop on a plane
Yeah.
and pull it off.
So, but who did they get to play Allura?
Oh my God,
Erica Durance.
Erica Durance,
Oh.
so awesome. And the image of her as Allura, I was in.
Can I tell you, she is probably, and I don't know where this is going to rate on like, you know, the fandom scale, but she's my favorite Lois Lane
She's mine too, and I'm going to tell you why.
from Smallville.
I didn't even like her that much at first. And then when I saw her acting as other characters possessing Lois, like there's an episode where she's Isis. There's an episode where she's Feora, which by the way won an Emmy. That episode because they free Kara from they free Kara from the Phantom Zone. Mm-hmm. Okay. John Jones' powers are restored. Okay, and he helps save the day. And you have Erica Durance running around as Feora, talking to her son Doomsday, trying to bring
Right.
that episode is phenomenal and won a freaking Emmy, and I love it.
Yeah.
To this day, it's still my favorite individual episode of Smallville.
I really like her. Like when Clark and Lois end up at the Daily Planet as like interns, or
Yep.
like low-level reporters or whatever, I was like, man, this is the show I want. Like, this is the show I want. I want to watch them working their way up, their relationship, and I want him to be Superman. Like, this is the show that I want. And I thought-
We pretty much got that, which was very nice.
it was, except he wasn't Superman. That was the only thing that was really missing.
I know, but they got us there in the end.
Yeah. Joe in the chat says that he thinks that the writers are slowly working her to be just like Lex.
But I feel like I'm hoping it's just a red herring, right? Because, But on the other hand, I mean, what kind of greater story? Oh, look, they used to be friends. Now they're mortal enemies. So I can see it going either way.
And he's saying that he thinks that Kara will feel the pain about having to go after her friend.
Oh, of course.
So,
like I said, going
yeah,
after
I mean,
your,
and you know what, Joe, I kind of hope you're right because it's those kind of conflicts and struggles that I think are interesting and that are entertaining and are the emotional journey I want to take when I watch a show.
But as a show that focuses on female empowerment, I feel like their friendship should win in the end. I don't know because I've told you the thing that has always drawn me to Superman and Wonder Woman in their best stories were their emotional journeys, where they had to reach out and they're looking at their enemy and they're like, "Please take my hand in friendship." There's one whole issue of Superman that Joe Kelly wrote where the whole issue, he is reaching out to all of his enemies in friendship, and all of them turn him down except for Major Disaster. And Major Disaster takes his hand and he brings him to join the Justice League, and Major Disaster joins Justice League Elite. And that's cool. Like, that's good. That's a powerful arc.
Yeah.
So if it ends that way, I'll be happy. I feel it would live to the spirit of the show.
I think there always needs to be tension, though.
Of course, but we
it
can
to
have tension all
so.
season. I'm just saying, we could close the season by living in the spirit of the show and having their friendship win. And then next season, we start building up something new and something
it'll be
chaotic.
interesting to watch.
Also, Rain is the main season, a villain, too. They didn't even show her to us. That weird ship leaving Krypton with those dark druid people, that's supposed to be Rain.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the real villain of the season. That's going to be some savagery.
Has that been confirmed that?
Oh yeah, they before Comic-Con they count. But that's what's so cool about the trailer. We don't see Rain. It's just hush hush.
I was kind of hoping it was what's his name? Hell.
Who? Hell?
Yeah.
You know what?
I kind of wanted like.
We're gonna get into how I feel like we shouldn't adapt every freaking comic book.
So CW stuff looks great.
we really
a couple more CW shows. Black Lightning.
I really like this. I wish it took. Number one, I wish it took place in the Arrowverse, but it doesn't. But now I wish it took place in the Supergirl universe.
They have not confirmed where it actually takes place.
one of the showrunners said it's not in the Arrowverse, which I feel like we're building up such a great Arrowverse. Why would you do it?
Do you think they'll still bring him in a crossover?
Oh, well, of course, and why would you not? I told, like, how would you not? Like, you got to.
Yeah.
Come on. But I feel Black Lightning, awesome, metahuman, but street level.
It looks like a
hero.
fantastic show.
And Supergirl's so limited to being a hero in her own world.
Yeah.
I would love that's one reason I would love for him to be in her universe.
Yeah. I would love for them to expand, like, the hero selection outside of National City.
Right, exactly. That would be cool. You know, and if we don't do that, then we could expand it outside of Central City and outside of Star City. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's a big planet. There could be more heroes.
I love the fact that they're approaching this from a retired hero that's coming back.
Yep.
You know, like that's such a
And I mentioned to you, his daughters become heroes in the comics.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you think that might
I think that'd be so even if they just had metahuman powers, it'd be so great. You know? Because then he would kind of be like, I do this so you don't have to go out there. So you're not the ones who get hurt. That's
a great, a great struggle.
And then by the time we get season 2 and 3, it could be like, yeah, Dad, I got this. And freaking Thunder is like smashing sidewalks and beating up criminals. And it's like, you know, that's the older daughter. Because, you know, it'd be great. There's a little, you know how DC did those little Saturday morning short cartoons? No. Okay, they did them on Cartoon Network a long time ago. And,
I didn't have cable a long time ago.
And anyhow,
I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Maine.
Okay, but not that long ago, man.
I did not have cable growing up.
Right, but it's not. You're not that much younger than me. It wasn't that long ago. I'm talking about 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh, four. I wasn't watching cartoons.
Whatever. So it was these little animated morning things. A lot of them were about Animal Man. One was about Black Lightning and his kids. So Black Lightning goes to this guy who makes superhero costumes, right?
Yeah.
And you're actually seeing all the iterations of Black Lightning's costume. There's a static looking version, and there's a Black Vulcan looking version. And while he's doing that, the girls are outside getting in trouble with supervillains. And then Black Lightning sees this, comes out in the new outfit, and gets involved, and it's really great. And
that's
it's cute.
kind of fun.
You know, it was very fun. And so yeah. With that in mind, I would like to see the series start with him being the fatherly protector, expand to the kids join the family business.
When is this premiering?
Isn't it supposed to be
in
the fall? Yeah.
Why do I feel like it's being
undersold? I feel like it is. Maybe they're just trying to gauge fan reaction, but I feel they should hype it up.
I really it says 2017, 2018, so it must be...
It's got to be in the fall.
It must be in the fall.
Right, because Legends is going to premiere after Arrow.
Everything's premiering after the first week of October.
Right. So
all of these shows.
Right, so, Supergirl on Monday, Flash on Tuesday, Legends on Tuesday at 9.
Yeah.
Wednesday is Arrow. Thursday, I think, is Black Lightning.
Cool.
You know.
I'm very much looking forward to this show. I know very little about the character, but everything I've ever seen, I think he was in was he in Justice League or Justice League Unlimited?
He's in Young Justice.
I never saw Young Justice, but
really,
yeah. All right, so one last thing, the CW's got it wrapped up here because they're also doing
on the CW Seed
animated Freedom Fighters and the Ray, right? Or
Freedom Fighters, the Ray.
The Ray.
And we do see the other Freedom Fighters. We see Black Condor.
So where is this set? Because I know nothing about.
So the original Freedom Fighters was set on Earth X.
It's a parallel.
Right, okay, and now often it's set on. Now they just say it's Earth 10, right? And this version of Earth 10 are CW heroes: Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Green Arrow. They are all members of the Nazi Party. And these other metas are the ones rebelling against them.
Yeah.
Now, the traditional freedom fighters, it's usually Uncle Sam, the Spirit of America, okay? And then the heroes he's assembled. The Human Bomb, Phantom Lady, Black Condor, Doll Man, I'm forgetting a few, but typically that's your right, and the Ray and the traditional Ray. This is the more modern Ray. So that's usually your ensemble of characters. When DC reabsorbs all these characters, like through Crisis and Crisis and Infinite Crisis, and actually in Infinite Crisis, if you remember that story, there's a big moment with the Freedom Fighters. The Freedom Fighters are like on Earth. They look up at the moon. They're like, something's happening at the Watchtower. And Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are up there trying to figure out what went down. And on the ground, they end up going up against the Secret Society of Supervillains. And Sinestro's there, Bizarro's there, and Bizarro takes on Human Bomb and just keeps punching him. And because he likes the fireworks every time he hits Human Bomb until there's no more lights.
Oh, that's sad.
Yep, he kills Human Bomb with his bare fist, and yeah, it's pretty tragic. And the Freedom Fighters take a huge beating that afternoon during Infinite Crisis. Yeah, so for those of you who remember Infinite Crisis and don't remember the Freedom Fighters, go take a read back.
I was just gonna say, is that the best place to get caught up on some of these characters that are gonna be in this show?
Oh man, what's the best? I don't know. There's actually a Freedom Fighters miniseries that was very good. The Ray, however, is prominently featured in Justice League of America Rebirth. So if you follow the current status quo of Justice League of America, you will see the Ray. I love it. He's come out of his shell. He's been living in darkness his whole life because his mother was afraid of what would happen. And it's kind of a side effect of that is that, like, she also blamed him for everything wrong with her life.
Oh,
so
wow.
really,
what are his superpowers?
So his superpowers is to, like, steal and manipulate light energy.
Oh.
Including physical things. So, like, it could be a very deadly power.
Yeah.
I mean, he could actually, he can make light constructs as well.
Okay.
He could steal your vision by taking the light away from your eyes. Yeah, he has a really cool power set. So what happened was, as a baby, he was born, he's a meta, he's exposed to light, and he blinds the nurse immediately. And that traumatizes his mom, and that's why she keeps him away. Now, that's his rebirth story, and that's kind of his pre-rebirth story, too, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to talk heavily about Justice League of America, our next show. But as far as the Freedom Fighters, the Freedom Fighters Earth has always been the Axis powers one. The spirit of America embodies itself as Uncle Sam, and he assembles the Freedom Fighters to battle. And many times they crossed over with Earth 2 to join the All-Star Squadron, to fight against Hitler, to fight against Perdegaton. And those are the classic stories. And of course, this is a modern take on that. And the modern take being, not only did Nazis win, but all the heroes we knew and loved are now villains.
Wow.
In Final Crisis, we re-meet the Superman from that evil Earth, or from that dark Earth, right? Mm-hmm. And he became the Nazi Superman, and he was all pro-Nazi until he saw what he was doing wrong, and it led to the death of his cousin. And so he changed who he was, and he joins the other Supermen of the multiverse to go fight, the multiverse vampire in Superman Final Crisis. So there's a lot of details. So we have a rendition of that, coming back to this, we have a rendition of that. Definitely Black Condor is there, and he has those wonderful slicing wing blades. The Ray is there. Phantom Lady is there. I don't know if we're going to see Uncle Sam. I would like to, but maybe... Uncle Sam is a tricky trademark character.
Was he not in the trailer?
He's not in the trailer. He does belong to the United States government, so DC has special licensing over him. So
that's interesting.
I think I've talked us to death on the Ray, but
that's fine.
I'm really looking forward to it.
It's interesting because these are, it's kind of a rare thing to find superheroes with interesting stories that haven't already been told, or that the average moviegoer or TV watcher doesn't know. So this is an exciting thing to talk about.
I'm excited, and I want the CW verse to meet this world. I want them to see freaking Axis Power, Supergirl, Arrow, and Flash, and be absolutely horrified by their mirror selves.
Do you think? I wonder if they'll do some Flash Legends, like, we got into Earth X, like.
I would love it. So maybe Cisco can accidentally take them there.
That'd be cool.
Maybe there's a beacon coming from there of some sort, and Cisco's like, "Look, guys, we got this message. I don't know what we should do." It's like, let's assemble everybody and go investigate, and be like, "Oh my God, it's horrible."
So let's move on to the other DC TV property that is not on the CW.
Yes.
I think it's the only one, actually.
Currently,
Yeah.
I mean Preacher, but
It's Preacher's Vertigo.
but that is DC. DC
well,
owns it.
yeah, okay.
And Lucifer,
Right.
DC
So,
owns it, and is also on Fox.
So I have not watched Gotham since I think season 1. Actually.
I told you to watch last season.
So
Out of control.
So the last time I watched Gotham was when Fish was captured by I forget his name,
Hugo Strange.
Was it Hugo Strange?
Yeah, he's the one who had her and all the others.
So that's right. So she's captured by Hugo Strange. She's in like the insane asylum hospital place, and she cuts her eye out with a spoon.
Yes.
I thought
That was prior to that.
So
oh wait, that was way before Hugo Strange. You're right. That was season 1.
No. That's
that was.
Isn't it? I forget his name, but it's wasn't the doctor, the same doctor from Arrow, the one who was doing the Mirakulu research. Isn't that the same character that was?
I missed that.
Anyway,
I'm gonna be honest. Season 1 was not doing it for me.
Fish was my favorite character, and then when she died or when they killed her, whatever, I said I'm not gonna watch this again.
And then they brought her back to season 2 immediately. Oh no, not immediately.
Well, they had already lost me. I haven't watched Gotham since season 1. I heard season 3.
Yeah, which is the last
Season
one.
3 was really good.
Off the hook.
I heard a lot of people say jump in at the halfway point of season 3. You won't be disappointed. Just go for it. I almost did. And then I saw this trailer for Gotham season 4, and oh my god.
Yeah, you saw a whole lot of what you missed, didn't you?
And I was like, Selina's about to become Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce is basically Batman without the costume. Alfred gets stabbed through the chest.
Ra's al Ghul has made
Dr.
appearance.
Bashir is Ra's al Ghul.
Yep.
Like, I was like, this is awesome. Gordon is doing some weird stuff. His life has collapsed. Barbara Gordon's this super villain that apparently is dead. The Riddler is there, but then he gets frozen in ice by Mr. Freeze. Like,
and now he's by Mr. Freeze's gun.
Yep.
No, I think Freeze did. Maybe.
No, Freeze. Well, in the trailer, it shows Freeze did it.
Freeze actually did it. Penguin is using him
has him like on display
at his themed restaurant. Remember the one from the Batman
Oh,
animated
yeah.
series? He actually makes it come to life
my
this season.
gosh. So
The Iceberg Lounge.
I may jump back into this.
No, you should. It's like the show decided its greatest strength was to go, why are we trying so hard?
And Jerome
is a Joker. He's amazing. I love him
Like-
on Shameless. I love him here. I love him.
I remember seeing him when he first showed up in the episode where we meet him in the circus, and then to hear what happens with him and to see him now, like everybody is like this close to their versions from the comics, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, this is
There is
insane.
a scene in a House of Mirrors with Jerome versus Bruce.
I saw a little bit of that in the trailer.
That is phenomenal, man.
It looks so good.
That was the best episode of Gotham, in my opinion, today. Because this guy freaking encompasses so much Jokerness. Yeah, and of course they don't want to say this is the Joker, but he's so good. You know, I'm sorry. Right now, he's probably my favorite Joker. Other than Mark Hamill, of course. Let's be clear.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm definitely gonna try to jump back into it. I think if I get the time, I'll try to watch it. All right, so let's move on to another amazing group of shows from a comic property.
The Defenders.
The Defenders. So we got not one, but 2 trailers at Comic-Con.
I love the Stanley trailer.
So the Stanley trailer was fantastic.
Yep.
The Punisher reveal at the end.
Yep.
Do you think he's going to be in the Defenders?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Well, is
You know.
he typically a Defender?
No, but that's the beauty of it, isn't it? We don't know what he's doing there.
Do you think Iron Fist is going to drag them all down to the point where they have to call in the Punisher?
Oh God, no.
So
I feel like the Punisher will make a very nice cameo.
I love the Punisher. I love this version of the Punisher.
I feel like he may show up for one helping hand.
So let's talk about the second trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a strong opinion about it.
I thought it was cohesive. I felt like we know where we're going, but it's all leading to the hand. Everything everyone's been seeing, all these sub corporations and bogey corporations and everything that everyone's mystery has been. What Jessica needs to know about getting her powers.
With Sigourney Weaver's character,
culminating
which
with
we still don't know who it is.
Right, but I love it. I thought it was strong. I thought it was telling me this is where we're going.
You said. And I quote.
Yes.
What did you say?
I thought it was actually the strongest trailer coming out of Comic-Con because it was like the most focused.
The strongest, most focused trailer coming out of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And what was my response?
You were like, that's one take on it.
That is one take on it because I still cannot get over Iron Fist. Danny Rand.
I know, but I mean,
every time he's on screen, I'm just like, ugh.
That's unfortunate. What can I tell you?
Are
you going to tell me of all the ones that of all these trailers that we saw telling us a story and where the next stage of our journey is going? I'm not going to include Infinity War because I mean, like,
well, we
all
haven't
know what
officially seen that yet. We
Right.
have seen the leak footage, and we'll talk about that later. But that has not officially been released. So we'll set that one aside.
But like setting that one aside, of the ones that were revealed, that was the one that was telling the strongest story about where we're going with Defenders. You know, everyone else was just showing us that we're going to have a rocking good time, and there's a difference. Pun intended for Ragnarok.
I don't necessarily agree. I mean, it was a good trailer, but I just can't get over it.
I know you can't. It's fine. I'm just saying, everything here is all ruined for you as a result. I want to know. I'm still in the mystery. I want to pursue it. I want Jessica and Luke and Matt. I want them to find answers.
Yes, absolutely. And do you think Sigourney Weaver is playing Danny Rand's mother?
That would be so hot, personally. I would be so down for that.
The more I see this and the more I see the way that they're interacting in this trailer, the more I think that that's the case.
It would be great. And it would create. First of all, it's the perfect double storytelling sword, right? More questions and more answers at the same time.
My only concern is that because the Iron Fist show was so weak in storytelling overall, in my opinion. And in a lot of other people's opinions.
I know, but not so. This is the thing, right? The shows we got so far were very, very good.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And this one, I felt there was an absence of knowing itself.
Yes.
But I mean, like, where the other shows were strong 8s for me, this show was like a 6.5 for me. I didn't find it to be the unwatchable zone. I have a lot of friends who found it unwatchable. Oh my God, that's super harsh.
My concern is that because of the weakness in that show, that tying one of the villains, I should say, because Elektra is in this, the Hand is in this, there's a lot of, Elektra.
But I'm saying the Hand is everyone's villain, and that's the magical part about this.
That's great. But it's clear that Sigourney Weaver is the villain in the Defenders.
That's fine, and I want to know what she has to do with the Hand, because clearly that's where this is all going.
Yeah, but I feel like I will not be as strongly invested in her as the villain as I have been in other Marvel villains in the TV.
I feel like she connects them all, and if she is Danny's mother, that doesn't rule out what her role is in everyone else being there.
I will be disappointed because there was no Kingpin in this trailer, and I will be disappointed if Kingpin is on this trailer.
I won't. I don't think we need to keep bringing him back. I would like to see him in Daredevil season 3.
If the heroes are teaming up, why aren't the villains teaming up? Because the Hand is so prevalent in all of these, except for maybe Luke Cage. But even then...
Well, right, even then, right? Like, there's all this mystery stuff going on in Luke Cage. All these unanswered questions.
I do want to say...
back to the Hand.
I do want to say...
Why were they experimenting on inmates in Luke Cage, right? Why not the Hand?
Yeah.
Why not the Hand?
So the best news that came out of the Netflix panel, the Netflix Marvel panel, I felt, was that Misty Knight was joining
Colleen Wing
in Iron Fist season 2.
Oh, absolutely! I can't wait.
I am so excited for that.
I was actually hoping that this show was going to bring them together.
I was kind of hoping to, and this may be the beginning of their relationship.
Right, like at least if they like meet and get to fight together, that would be great. Like,
because I'll tell you, the girl who plays Colleen Wing, I thought was the best part of Iron Fist, and the woman who plays Misty Knight was just incredible. I mean, Luke Cage for me, like.
It was so many wonderful things. I gotta tell you,
I really liked Luke Cage. Like I talked to other people, and I'm like, "Isn't Luke Cage amazing?" And they're like, "Yeah, it was okay." I'm like,
they don't because Okay,
I'm like, what are you talking about?
So Luke Cage, right?
They're always disappointed because the villain was killed halfway through, and I'm like, that's because
he's not even the biggest,
it's like
mainest villain.
I know,
and it's really funny in the weirdest way. The show was very true to the earliest Luke Cage comic books,
I thought that the way they presented the villains and the way they did the backstories for the villains and for Cottonmouth and for his older sister, I was so satisfied with their character journey, with his death, with her transformation.
I thought her transformation and what's his name?
And Alfre Woodard, I love her so much. She's great. Star Trek First Contact, Lily in Star Trek First Contact. I'll never she's amazing. One of my favorite actresses.
She gives Picard the best speech.
The scene in the Ready Room,
yep,
where she's like, blow up that damn ship, and he's like, no, and he breaks all his little ships.
She's what did she say? She goes, Ahab has to catch his mail.
Yeah,
right.
And he's like, what? Like comparing him to Ahab and like all this stuff, and then in the very end,
I love that he played Ahab.
Quotes, and then he quotes the book, and she's like, what? And he's like, from Moby Dick, and she's like, actually, I never read it. And it's like,
it was so great.
It was like, and he's just like, kind of like, but it's what I love.
I remember she is the woman, the senator who confronts Iron Man in Civil War.
Is she a senator? I thought she was just a mother. She was the mother of the.
Oh right, she was
of the kid.
I'm sorry. I'm getting it twisted. She's the mother of the kid that died.
I wouldn't have been upset that they were the same characters.
I wish she had been the same character.
Because
that would have made her villainy even more tragic.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's like. I don't know if it's ever expressly been said that she's not the same character.
Well, let's see how they handle it. I wish that she was the same character. Because just think of how that adds to her origin.
Oh, yeah. Because here she is in her neighborhood. She's trying to make her neighborhood better.
Yep.
She's had this traumatic loss. Her upbringing has caused her to take this path. The relationship with her brother. And then she sees this guy, this hero, this local hero rise up. And just the pain and the emotion that would come with that. Seeing this on a local level. And she's like, not in my neighborhood. He's trying to undo all the good things I'm trying to do. Yeah,
the whole theme of her in Harlem was so good. Mm-hmm. I was actually, when it was over, I was like, if only real Harlem were like this. Like I'm like all of the only thing first of all they used Harlem beautifully. The historical
I used to live in New York
tidbits.
City, and I had friends who lived in Harlem, and I'd go up there all the time.
The historical tidbits she dropped about Harlem were all on point, which I thought were great.
I absolutely adored Luke Cage, and Daredevil season 1 still I think is the best season of Netflix Marvel shows.
I don't know. I feel like season 2 raised a lot of bars.
I had some issues with season 2. Very, very minor. Very, very minor. Not Danny Rand size issues, but and Jessica Jones. I felt the first 4 episodes were a little bit of a slog to get through.
Well, no, but they're all if you've noticed every single show, all the first 4 episodes, all of them are rough.
I mean, I disagree because I think the ones that have good storytelling, you don't feel like it's work to watch those first 4 episodes.
Listen, the first episode of Jessica. Okay, so as someone who has suffered a lot of anxiety and other issues that I can relate to with her character, for me, the moment she got to the hallway, it was capturing something I connected with very clearly. So I really enjoyed the first issue, and then the shocking twist episode. Yeah. The shocking twist of episode 1 left me like, I have to pause this. I have to go to the kitchen. I need a snack. I need to clear my mind. Yeah. And then episodes 2 and 3 felt like work, and then episode 4 got into Origins, and I was back.
Let me rephrase that. I've actually very much like episode 1. It is episodes 2 and 3 that I feel like are like they're almost filler to get to 4.
Almost. But the thing is, we have to. They were the universe builders, right? Like that's how you meet everybody.
But you can do that in a more interesting and
Right.
engaging
It was
way.
too. But remember, we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
My problem is we've entered the timeline of too much decompression. We're just now starting. I think writers are now just starting to find the happy medium. Right? Because before it used to be like, this 2-part episode covers a million things.
Right.
And now it's like, all those things, we're going to explain them throughout the season.
Well, what I love too is not every movie is an origin story anymore.
Which is very
Spider-Man Homecoming, not an origin story.
Right, because you know what you need to know.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben died, and he thinks it's his fault. Aunt May is a widow now, raising a teenage boy. Boom, run with it.
Wonder Woman is an interesting example because she shows up in Batman v Superman, fully realized.
Mm-hmm.
The Wonder Woman movie is, in a sense, an origin movie.
Oh, it absolutely
but even
is.
then, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like...
Because we do her origin in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, here she is, child of the Amazons, child to their queen, the only child on Amazon Island. Look at her run free and want to be heroic and powerful, and look, here comes the day where it all comes together. And then have your adventure. It's so funny, that moment where she just shows up, like, on that ledge next to Steve on the island, all dressed up. Like, when Superman appears next to Lois on her balcony in Superman the movie. Patty Jenkins nailed those precious little moments.
I am so glad she's back. Wonder Woman 2 set for Christmas 2019, I believe.
Sounds
they just
fun.
announced. And Patty Jenkins, I believe, is pretty much back. And Jeff Johns has started writing the script. And it's set in the Cold War 80s.
Fingers
Interesting.
crossed.
Very interesting.
It's an interesting time. It can tell a very interesting story.
I'm looking forward to it. So,
You know.
All right, let's move on to everybody's favorite stepchild of the Marvel TV universe.
Oh my God, is it a stepchild?
So,
The
Inhumans trailer 2 dropped at Comic-Con. I will say I enjoyed this trailer much more than the first one.
I did too, but you know what the key ingredient is for the second trailer? Medusa's hair.
Medusa's hair.
Medusa's hair does stuff, and honestly,
Doesn't look great.
It's not awful, but it's literally the difference between the first trailer and this one is a tone changer.
The other thing too is great song choice.
Yes.
Okay. I love the way this trailer's cut together. It makes me feel like there are stakes.
Yep.
And that I should care about some of these characters.
Yep.
It shows less Maximus.
Yes.
Which is a good.
But I actually like it. He's the villain. I'm intrigued by him as a villain.
So one thing they mentioned at the end of this trailer is that Maximus is human. So does he not have inhuman powers?
Yeah.
That's from the comics.
I don't know, but he's...
Because I know he's crazy.
Different. He's crazy.
And the thing I'm not getting from this guy is craziness.
Well, it's like evil crazy.
No, this is like petulant child. I want what my brother
Oh, no,
has.
not this.
No, yeah, this guy.
Yeah,
I'm saying this actor.
Well, these are the early stages of him before the crazy.
It is?
Yeah.
So this is par for the course for the Inhumans.
Yeah, where he's so he starts off kind of like that sniveling, manipulative jerk.
Yeah.
That, is usually among the cast of characters that you just want to strangle from day one.
I just don't understand who is going to get behind this guy to overthrow his brother.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's about being manipulative. So we gotta watch it happen.
Yeah, but this guy couldn't sell me an ice cream on a 90-degree day. He couldn't convince me to eat a snowball.
We're having a problem.
In hell.
I mean,
it's this, I don't know.
Listen, man. When the biggest thing about the latest trailer...
The other thing about this trailer is the very first thing is is his whole campaign promise is, we should attack humans first. Does this not take place in the same universe where there's literally a team of superheroes on Earth ready to prevent an alien invasion? Because they've already done it once already? Twice if you count giant robots?
Well, if you think about it, no one has seen Hulk and no one has seen Thor, and the Avengers are fractured, right? And if they know this...
That's true.
If they're watching
I hope they acknowledge that.
If they acknowledge all of that, then why wouldn't it be the perfect time to strike Earth first before the Earthlings mess everything up for us?
Why are they not tying this into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did their version of Inhumans, and we know this can't go well.
But we have Inhumans already. What I want is some minor Inhumans characters that we've seen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to be like...
Maybe Yo-Yo and
to
Matt
have
can
them
show up.
Or anybody. I mean, even less. Like people we've like literally extras, walk-ons that we've literally seen, because one of the things in this trailer is an Inhuman is going to Earth, it appears, and rescuing Inhumans and bringing them
to Adelan.
Adelan, and which is on the moon, which is great. I'm very excited about that. True to the story, great. So I want to see some people we've met before. And I want them to rescue them. I want this to be... I want something to be acknowledged about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, oh, there's this Inhuman crisis on Earth. We need to go down and get our people. En masse. None of this going in and picking them out one at a time thing, which is what appears to be happening. Maybe that's Maximus's deal. Is he's like, no, they're going to find us because we're going down and rescuing these people. We need to go down and get all of our people by force.
Yep.
Like, maybe that's his whole thing. Maybe. If I would love it if that's...
Because then that would be how he wins everybody else over.
Because that's something I can get behind. That's like, okay, you're not wrong.
Yep.
Not wrong. So, are you excited for this?
Not as much as I should be.
I want to be more excited.
Yeah.
And I'm not. And it bothers me.
You know, Black Bolt, great. Lockjaw,
great. He's going to be the star of the show. They were selling Lockjaw plushes at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, no, Lockjaw's going to steal the entire show. Lockjaw's going to be the Rihanna of this
show. He's going to be the Rihanna of Inhumans, yep. All right.
Every scene with the dog is so good.
Scene. All right, let's move on to non-comic property, but still pop culture.
Heavy pop culture.
Ready Player One.
Have you read the book?
Directed by Steven Spielberg. Here's a bit of fact trivia for you. I don't read books.
What is wrong with you?
I wait for them to make a movie.
You have children. Okay.
Well, even before I had kids, I never read books.
So, do you think
that
this movie tells you what the story is? This trailer?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no idea what the story is. All I know is there's Freddy Krueger.
Right, but that's in the virtual world.
Hang on. There's Freddy Krueger. There's Duke Nukem. I saw Duke Nukem. I'm pretty sure I saw G.I. Joe. Possibly Snake.
Okay, maybe.
Snake Eyes. I saw the Tron Cycle. I saw the Iron Giant.
There we go. Yep.
And I saw the DeLorean.
Yes.
Back to the Future. And I saw... You know, I'm a huge NASCAR fan, so I love anything with race cars like that. So, I have no idea what the story is. I know that it's in the future. I know that there's this virtual reality world, and I know that there's a lot of like 80s, 90s references within that virtual reality world, and that it's a miracle that this movie got made, and I'm pretty sure only Steven Spielberg could pull together all of those properties into one movie.
Probably. So here's one of my issues with it, right? So Steven Spielberg earlier said he didn't want to include any of his own properties in it. He didn't want to focus.
Well, it's a little late for that now, because he was executive producer in Back to the Future.
Yeah, no, I know,
Right.
but that's like the only one. But if you read the book, it's like there's tons of Spielberg references.
Right. I mean, this movie is so meta.
Right. And I guess he didn't want it to be that kind of meta. So we may not see much more than the DeLorean. So we'll see. So in the book, right, like the guy who created that virtual world was a child of the '80s, and he left this mystery for someone to solve. Right. If you can figure it out, if you can unlock all the gates, right, you will inherit.
Is that what the key is at the end? Like a gate unlocking?
Probably. And I don't want to ruin the movie by talking too much about the book. But the point is
that key significant to people who have read the book?
Of course.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know, because I had no idea what it was.
The whole thing is about, so like there's this guy, his friends, they're unlocking things. They're going, they're going to inherit the keys to the kingdom. There's a massive corporation, which like every corporation, it's a dystopian society, and they profit off of the suffering of human life. Art imitating life, imitating art. So they are in the game and they're trying to destroy everything, and they're trying to get the keys so they can secure their hold, the mass fortune, everything, and that's it.
So like when he's in the racing scene,
yes,
are all of those guys in like the stock car type looking things? That's all the corporation,
it's
and then
the
like
corporation
the guy in the
and other
cycle
people trying to figure it out too.
Is a player, and like somebody's in the DeLorean driving, and somebody's on. I think there was another 80s reference vehicle in there somewhere. But that's cool.
Yeah. So that's your story. I'm not going to say anything else.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I really am. Even though like I read the book and I'm like it's a little overrated, but like. The movie's here, and the movie should be cool.
Well, I think what's interesting is you look at a book like that, and it references all these pop culture things, primarily movie stuff, a lot of movie stuff, and it works okay as a book. Popular, nostalgia. Do you think it's going to work better as a movie?
It could. We're
going
to find
there's
out.
A potential? Like, could this be the rare case where the movie is better than the book?
Who directed Jaws?
I think Stefan Spielbergo.
So, and was Jaws not better than the book?
Well, yeah, but I heard that was a terrible book.
It was. So, fingers crossed that he still has enough. He still has enough of his lightning to be Zeus once more.
I hope so, because what did he just do? The Big Friendly Giant. Just did,
BFG.
BFG, and he did something else before that. That wasn't too crazy. Oh, the Spy Bridge one. Bridge of Spies.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. I hope it's a return to Spielberg blockbuster. Like, I think it's perfect for him to direct this movie and for it to include all of his properties. I don't know why he wouldn't. Like, doesn't he get residuals? Like, if he licenses his own stuff?
I know, but I mean, like, you know what? We're going to judge him on his artistry? I mean, of course we are.
Yes!
But it's
yes, we are.
Right, but it's the thing, right?
Oh, so we're not going to judge anybody. That's the end of the show, folks.
No.
We're not going to discuss any more judging.
His artistic choices. I mean, we will.
We
will, but I mean...
After Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, you're damn right I'm going to question his creative choices.
I am so with you. But my point is, I guess I want to see him grow. I want to see him have... a hurrah. I want this to be that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm afraid it's just going to be whatever. You know? Like, it could just be Valerian again.
So
like, isn't that awful?
So I'm gonna put somebody on the spot here. We have a new show producer, Adam, who's back in our booth there, and he is a huge movie buff. So I'm just gonna ask you real quick, Adam. Have you read the book Ready Player One?
No.
He's saying he hasn't. Okay. You saw this trailer, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you excited about the movie?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't show much, but...
Right. You have no idea what the story is.
Are you excited about the nostalgia of the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool.
It could be kind of cool, right, from Adam. All right. So let's move on to some exciting news. So DC
Shazam
announced that the next movie going into production after Justice League, after Aquaman, is Shazam.
Who normally I love.
Who normally you love. Now, let's go back in time a little bit. Let's jump in the DeLorean and go back in time. They announced that a Shazam movie was coming. I believe they announced New Line Cinemas was going to be distributing it, which is owned by Warner Brothers. I believe it was New Line. And an executive there said, this will not tie in to the DC Extended Universe. It'll be its own thing. Then...
Which is a bad idea, but go ahead.
Sure. Then it was announced that The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the highest paid actor in Hollywood currently, enough charisma to knock a small moon out of orbit. Without an Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay.
Is going to be playing Black Adam.
Yes.
Now they announced Shazam is coming.
Yep.
Yes, great.
Uh-huh.
No Black Adam.
That's right.
We don't know who's starring in it as Billy Batson or as Shazam.
Yep.
We don't know
His premier
who
villain
the
will not be in
his
it.
premier villain apparently isn't going to be in it. Now it's coming from Warner Brothers, maybe, and it's going into production as the next movie after Aquaman.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I don't know. I hope they get it right.
I hope they get it right. I don't understand why Man of Steel 2 isn't going into production sometime soon. I don't know why Gotham City Sirens isn't going into production.
It got renamed. It got renamed.
What did it get renamed?
It's now Birds of Prey.
But we didn't hear anything about that at Comic-Con.
They changed the name of it. Came out of Comic-Con.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Because the next thing we heard was Suicide Squad 2 is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly pitting Harley against Joker.
I would love that. I would be down for
Fine,
that.
great. Or is that a standalone movie? Like there's a lot of like weird stuff happening.
You know what I would want for Suicide Squad 2, right? That they have to go after Black Adam. Because that's a suicide mission.
Yeah, but do we need more mystical stuff? I feel like the Enchantress and the mystical stuff.
I
Really
feel
didn't
like we
work.
would have a real villain.
What I want is I want the Suicide Squad going up against the Joker, which is what the first movie should have been.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to talk about that.
We'll skip right over that.
We're going to skip right over that.
So
them going up against the Joker sounds great. I don't feel like that feels like as much as a suicide mission. You know, like they're all very capable and very powerful, and like I just.
But I want a ground level villain like that. I don't
right,
want...
but that's how the Suicide Squad. It's suicide missions.
True.
And like going up against the Joker is quite, for average people, is quite frightening.
Right.
But this is these. Look at them. They're quite frightening. They're the people you don't want to run into. And when you don't want to run into a Joker in an alley, you don't want to run into them in an alley either. So like, I don't feel like that's a threat. I know Black Adam, more mystical stuff, but that is like, oh my God, that's like they can get killed because he is just ridiculous.
True.
That feels like a.
Do you think Black Adam is going to be the villain of Man of Steel 2?
Probably, because they keep shuffling around.
Yeah, they're doing
what
some
he's
weird
supposed
stuff.
to do.
Also, Batgirl has been announced. We knew that was coming, but now it's officially with Joss Whedon. And was there another announcement besides Flash? There might not have been anything. But anyway, so how do we feel about this Shazam business?
Okay, so here's some ideas I have.
Listen up, Warner Brothers executives.
I feel like
You better be watching, Jeff Johns.
if they do Mr. Mind, right, the little worm that can like get in people's heads and control them, I feel like it could be the perfect. If done right, it could be like the Never-Ending Story, right? Whimsical, right? Fun for the kids, just dark and creepy enough for you to really buy the stakes.
You know, that's the first thing you said that makes sense for the kids.
Yeah. Because it's Shazam.
This is something that should be marketed towards kids.
It absolutely should. And he can be in that same universe.
Yeah.
But that is who Shazam is. Yeah. The spirit of Shazam is whimsical. That's what they need to do. And I'm hoping that they just do it and they love it and they go in full glory with it. I don't know. Like Big Hero 6.
That would be perfect. A Shazam movie in the style of Big Hero 6 would be amazing.
Right. Because like, or in the theme of Big Hero 6, right? It was the tone. It was very fun.
Yeah.
But there was gravitas. There was seriousness. There was pain. Right? Billy has a life of pain being in a foster home.
Yeah.
Okay? And at one point living on the street by himself. Okay? There is lots of pain and reality, right?
Yeah.
And there's lots of whimsy and joy with a child getting powers that transform him into a man and give him the ability to fly, the wisdom of Solomon, the power of Zeus, the speed of Mercury. Like these are things that can really be played with.
Do you think they're going to tie him in with Wonder Woman?
It would be cool. I hope so. Or at the very least, Wonder Woman acknowledged the existence of a pantheon of gods. It should be acknowledged for him as well. Yeah. And definitely we have to get the Wizard Shazam. So that is it. That is my dream. Some kind of Big Hero 6 never-ending story tone for the modern day.
I love it.
And like I said, like of all the movies where I constantly argue, but don't you want this for the kids, right? This one, come on, it should be for you and
Especially
for
in
the
the
kids.
DC extended universe that's been so dark, so adult, so gritty. This would be a perfect property to do that with, and you can still tie it into the universe that's already been established. I think it's a great idea, especially Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the biggest thing.
Yep.
We're going to talk about her in a little bit, and is the biggest thing for DC right now.
And we could get a peek at Black Adam in this movie, a peek, and then he can show up to fight Superman, and like we have a pre-established moment.
I wonder if he's going to be in Justice League Dark. Oh, that's the other one they announced, was Justice League Dark.
Oh, that's definitely happening.
Yeah, that was announced.
That's
also.
mystical. That would be an appropriate place for him to show up. Imagine if he's actually a member of the team.
That's what I'm saying.
I
think that would be great.
That would be great. A very
Can you see him
angry...
arguing with Constantine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Zatanna and stuff. Like, it would just be fantastic. All right, so let's talk about the Flash movie. So it was announced that the Flash movie, which by the way has gone through what, 3 directors, 4 directors, 3 or 4 directors. It's at least on its 2nd or 3rd script, is now being called Flashpoint.
God help us all.
So I have a feeling you and I are gonna be on opposite sides of this. So why don't you go ahead and tell me how you feel about this?
We don't need to adapt every freaking comic book story, okay? And also, what am I going to get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
If I get out of this the return of Superman and he's bright and sunny by comparison, I'll be so happy. If it helps us keep Ben Affleck, sure. I just... Like, this is going to be our intro Flash movie. The most controversial Flash story of the recent decade should be his launch movie. Like you said, it doesn't have to be an origin movie. Okay, fine. But you know what? I still haven't gotten in all this time with Flash TV shows and everything. Just give me the Flash versus the Rogues. Just fight the Rogues. Just tell that story. Damn you, Jeff Johns. Just make that happen. You love the Rogues. Just do
I have
it.
a question. Just a quick question. Who wrote Flashpoint?
Jeff Johns.
Oh, right.
But I'm not a fan of Flashpoints.
So I can tell.
Now, something fun that came out of this is Batman's parents, who are played by 2 actors who we're very familiar with, and we know and love them on Walking Dead, that they may appear in Flashpoint, because in the Flashpoint universe, Daddy is Batman
Wayne.
and Mom is the Joker. So that could be great.
So let me tell you how I feel about this. Mm-hmm. I think this is great. This is the Flash movie I want for the general public.
But but here's my problem.
Hang on. They did it. It's my turn.
I know.
They did it on the TV show, and they did a poor job of it. But it's fine. It serviced whatever they needed it to do, and they did it, and it's gone, and it's done. Now, they're not going to do it again. Now, we can do it right. And I think it is the perfect Flash story for the general audience because it focuses on the deepest conflict within Barry, and that is the death of his mother, forcing him down this path, the eventual realization that he can travel through time, and then him making the decision to go back and save her, and the repercussions thereof, and then the struggle that he has to go through to set it right. And the only way to do that is to allow his mother to die. In my opinion, there is no stronger dramatic arc or stronger internal/external conflict than that story. And I think that is something that everybody can identify with, and that's something that will a journey that the audience can take, and that it is going to be delightful to see all of these characters that we hang on. Delightful to see the changes that are made. And I want Joe Manganiello with an eye patch on a ship.
Oh, right, but that won't happen.
Pirate Deathstroke.
That won't happen.
I want it, Jeff Johns.
I want it, but I already know.
I want all the characters from the DCU. I want them to do a reverse Captain America. I want them to take buff Henry Cavill and turn him into scrawny Superman locked in a way. And I want Arthur Curry and I want Diana Prince to be at war. I want all of it. I want Thomas Wayne Batman. I want all of it.
The key thing is Thomas Wayne Batman.
That's the delight.
Yeah.
And
President
then the
Cyborg,
pain-
you skipped right over that.
President Cyborg, and then these are all characters that we're introduced to in Justice League. We're gonna see the differences in Flashpoint, and then he's got to reset it all back.
Yep.
And then we're gonna see the pain of him having to set it all back, and we get Reverse Flash is in. Is he in Flashpoint? No.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And then we get, in my opinion, one of the best singular villains. Okay? And I think that, because here's the thing. What they've done with the Flash and the DCU, what little they've done, it's new. Okay? We've already seen him time travel in Batman v Superman. I think he's going to abuse that power. And then
Once he figures it out.
yeah. Well, but the thing is I think that he's newly tied up with the Justice League. So like this is like, oh, I'm Barry Allen. I'm not even the Flash yet. I'm just like saving people a little bit. Then Batman comes, recruits him to the Justice League. He becomes the Flash. We see that whole story arc in Justice League, them saving the world from Steppenwolf or whatever. We'll talk about that in just a second. He is now the Flash. And he says, I have this power. I should just go back in time and fix everything. And he does. And then it's sort of like, it's almost like the Spider-Man story arc in Homecoming. He has to realize himself as the Flash before he can fight the Rogues. And I feel like this is the perfect movie to do that, to introduce the general public. And then the sequel is he's the Flash and he's fighting the Rogues. And a whole new set of conflicts. That's how I think.
I feel like this is the cart before the horse, in my opinion.
I would normally agree with you, but
Especially
I don't.
'cause
For some reason, I don't in this.
I know because it's a fantasy that people have. I don't know. It's not for me. This is cart before the horse. It is his greatest villain, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody was defending that Shazam shouldn't go after his greatest villain in the first movie because then there's like no buildup, right? I mean, him fighting the Rogues after time traveling, sacrificing his mother's life to save the time stream. I mean, like, yeah, the Rogues are holding Central City hostage. Is tame in comparison, you know? Like now they're the wind up penguins, and I'm just like,
well, what's interesting to me is that I love the whole concept that Reverse Flash, like, is there at the beginning, and he's like, you're my greatest adversary. And the Flash is like, I push people and run away. Yeah. What are you talking about? And I love the fact that there's this hidden relationship that we don't know. And it's like J.J. Abrams' mystery box.
More so the hidden relationship that Barry doesn't know.
Right. But it's like J.J. Abrams' mystery box. There's something in the mystery box, you don't know what it is, but you keep watching and you keep wanting to open it. And he doesn't open it until the third act of the movie. And so it's like that unknown thing. It's like, why are they adversaries? What did the Flash do to Eobard Thawne that makes him hate him so much? Like, what is the deal? You know? And like, I know it's been explained in the comics and stuff, but it's just like, and there's been a couple of different versions of it, but it's like for the general audience and for somebody who is not as steeped in the Flash lore as you know, as I am, I find that exciting. Like, that we get to see this character arc and this journey for him that he has to overcome. I think it's exciting, and I think it's a great way
I
to
think
start
it's
off
I
the
think
Flash.
it's a risk to get overshadowed by these other characters, and not Wonder Woman's movie got to focus on Wonder Woman and her impact on the people around her. The Flash and Flashpoint, it does that in a very different way. And then we're surrounded by all this other stuff. You know, we're surrounded by Thomas Wayne Batman and
in Captain America Civil War is all of those extra characters overshadowing.
It's his third movie, and we built
This
to
will be
it.
the third time we see the Flash on screen.
Oh my God! But the other ones were moments, literal moments.
Well, he's gonna be in Justice League.
Yeah, and then that's when we actually meet him as a character.
I think
We had Captain America. We had the Avengers. We had Winter Soldier. We had three movies.
But here's the thing. Talented directors, talented story writers, talented actors, and they delivered a great movie. I know I'm asking a lot.
I don't know who these people are.
I know I'm asking a lot.
We are asking a lot.
But it can happen.
I
Is
agree
there a
with
good
you.
chance it's going to happen? Probably.
I agree with you.
But it could happen.
Marvel has been streamlining, okay?
That's
and
true.
They
I don't
have,
disagree.
They have had a big picture in play since the days of declaring Phase 1, Phase 1.
I don't disagree.
And DC has been chuggling and be like, "Ooh, look how good we're doing with Wonder Woman. Look how good we're doing with Wonder Woman." And like
they're very reactionary. I
and
understand.
and I'm just like,
I think they're learning a lesson.
Do you know what I would do? I stand by the old methods. DC back in the day would get their butts handed to them by Marvel, and then go right over there and hire those guys to come work at DC. Mm-hmm. Wow, John Byrne's doing an amazing job. Boom, he's on Man of Steel. Jack Kirby, you're amazing. Boom, put him on Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. Introduce Darkseid and the New Gods. I felt the same way about the movie projects. I'm like, great, I can't wait for you to go over to Marvel and grab people. And they have grabbed one. Mm-hmm. And he is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. So we will see.
And I think we're hearing extensive reshoots with Justice League.
Well, yeah, there has to be more Wonder Woman.
Mustache Gate. Look it up.
Oh, Mustache Gate is so
Look it up.
ridiculous.
I know.
I can't. They got to digitally remove freaking Superman's mustache.
Extensive reshoots, $25 million. Do you know how many romantic comedies you can make for $25 million?
5 at least.
Yeah. And they're doing reshoots, $25 million reshoots. Extensive reshoots. Joss Whedon is changing a significant amount of this film. And I have no doubt that it is with Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers and DC's blessing. They have learned.
I'm not entirely sure about that. That's everyone's blessing.
I think it's everyone's blessing.
I don't think it's. Well, I think if it is Zach's blessing, I think it's because he's like, look, I got to take care of my family.
Joss Whedon was hired to rewrite and scenes before Zack Snyder left, so I have no doubt that this is with his, because the thing is you can't pass off a project like that and not tell the new director, just go with it. And I know that they're, saving face. They're saying, "Oh, this is very much Zach's film," and blah blah blah. And word has come down that Joss Whedon will not be getting a director's credit because the way the DGA works is there's only one director, and so there's no co-directing. So that typically means that over 50% of the film has been directed by whoever's getting the director's credit. So Zack Snyder's getting the director's credit. So that means that 0 to 49% of this film is being changed. I would wager that it's closer to 40 to 49%.
I'm going to call it 40%. 40%.
I think everything but the major set pieces is being completely rewritten and refilmed. And anything, although Jason Momoa finished his reshoots fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But so let's jump right into it. I'm excited for Flashpoint. I think it has the potential to be.
And I don't know enough about who's involved.
You ready?
We don't know. Right, and
because they haven't hired anybody,
and therefore you tell me you don't know what
I can tell you
doing.
who's probably going to write the script.
Who?
Jeff Johns.
Maybe. I know, but I mean, listen, that's not a good thing. The more we put upon you, have you found the best writers, when we put upon them, is when they start falling apart? Brian Michael Bendis used to be everything at Marvel. Yeah. And then he is nothing. And Jeff Johns, he's telling legendary stories, whatever. No, we can't keep doing this. It's going to go south if we keep doing that. There are other writers. They're capable. There's Jeff Lemire. There is Sterling Gates. There's all these people out there who are talented. And you know what? I'm not Jeff Johns' biggest fan, because I think he's holding them back, okay? I have the highest credentials at freaking DC, and I'm a great and powerful writer. Well, what happens to people when their power corrupts them, right? They keep everyone else down who could be the next one down,
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I know, but that's the feeling I'm getting.
I believe Jeff Johns should do less writing and more guiding.
Yes.
Like Kevin Feige does. Kevin Feige has a singular vision for that universe.
Listen, Jeff Loeb has stepped away from writing, has done more guiding.
He's the TV.
And it is for the best. It is for the best. His writing started to go south once his son died. And you know what? He stepped away. He does things like the cartoon shows, whatever. He's wonderful with that. I'm totally, you got to go where the work is and where you can shine. So anyhow, I'm sorry, that's my...
You can't save the world alone.
Ain't that the truth?
This poster is everything. Alex Ross style, just amazing. The trailer,
Pretty solid.
I loved the trailer. I loved the trailer. I don't know if any of it is from the reshoots. Quite frankly, I don't care anymore. I fully trust. I honestly believe that after Batman v Superman came out, I believe that the writing was on the wall, the tone had to change, and that as they went into shooting Justice League, the attitude had already changed. I heard set reports from the initial production with Zack Snyder that was the case on set. The scene in the trailer where they're all talking on the rooftop with Commissioner Gordon, and they all bug out, and Flash is left there by himself. That was a Zack Snyder scene that was shot, and that's exactly how it was written, and that was the scene they were shooting for the set visit, and that humor and that attitude is what was in the film from the get-go, and I think that we're gonna see. I think this movie is gonna be great. I really do. I have really good feelings about it.
I am not going to lie that my bar has raised for this movie. I got to tell you, I mean, it's still what... If we're going to go for the one that actually made me go, what? We haven't covered it yet.
Okay. We'll get there. That's why it's last.
Yep. Okay, really? Oh, good. We may agree on this.
We're building.
My first thing to be ticked off about was Wonder Woman dodging a bullet.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, okay, people don't get it, right? Like, sell what you're about. Like, for instance, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, the cartoon series. Yeah. Wonder Woman is deflecting bullets all freaking day long.
In Wonder Woman, she's deflecting bullets.
She deflects like one or two, and she has the hall, they have the alleyway scene.
Yeah.
Where there's some cool bullet deflection.
Yeah.
Right? It's cool, and I like that. And the thing is, like, that's the shtick. Sell me on it. Sell me hard. And the other thing is, like, one of my friends wrote, like, oh,
took it. It's not even worth my time to raise my arm. I'm just gonna move.
Look,
I'm just gonna let it go.
Look, it's done, right? And it's not enough to just destroy me on the movie. It's just kind of like, that's Wonder Woman's thing. Let her have it. Like, just do it. Just bah, 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 bah. That's what I want. I want
How
this.
should she do it? How should she do it?
I want high speed. Yes, I like Justice League Unlimited. Like, I like that. Remember when they were like thrown back to World War II and the freaking planes come and Wonder Woman was like, I got this. It's just like, and it was just
Justice League
crazy.
Unlimited. By the way, if you haven't seen it, it's only on Netflix until the 1st of August. You need to go and binge watch. Start with Justice League if you've got the time.
Through
go
Unlimited.
all the way through in Unlimited.
I've been binge watching all week because I hope it's moving to Amazon. Because Amazon has Batman and has Superman, so I hope it moves there.
Oh, because I've been wanting to watch Batman.
Yep.
My son has been starting to get more into Batman animated shows, and he wants to. I want him to watch the animated series and to get into Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
So hopefully it's moving to Amazon because Amazon already has all 3 seasons of Batman and Superman. So I'm pleased with that.
So. What were some specific things about this trailer?
I love when he's like, you have no protectors, you have no lanterns.
Steppenwolf, lantern call out.
Yep.
No Kryptonian.
Yep.
Boom tube. We saw
boom
a
tube
boom tube.
Themyscira.
In Themyscira, Mother Box, boom tube.
Now I'm assuming this is the past.
No.
Right? Well, I'm assuming it's the past because Antiope is
that's right, she is.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, like, he must have, like, done something on the island. The Amazons, like, housed it.
So, I forgot what I was going to say now.
No lanterns, no
lanterns,
Guardians.
no Kryptonian. Just overall, this San Diego Comic-Con, with all of the trailers, DC and Marvel, how Kirby-esque was this? Like, we're about to talk about the Thor Ragnarok trailer.
Oh my! Well, and you know what's messed
Kirby
up?
all over the place.
I
want New Gods.
The one that's
I want New Gods.
I want New Gods too. But the one that's most Kirby, like literal Kirby, is Thor Ragnarok. Like that just looks looks like
I'm
living
just saying.
Kirby.
I'm just saying. You look at the inspiration for these films.
No, the inspiration is
Steppenwolf,
absolutely.
Darkseid, New Gods, Ragnarok.
I listen.
Collector.
I only
the
wish
Grandmaster.
I only wish DC did more on the visual end of it in tribute to Kirby. Like, because that's
true.
not
I'll give
there.
you that.
You know, Thor Ragnarok, literally, it's there. It's like
Steppenwolf though looks like Steppenwolf. I mean, maybe
Kind
New
of.
52.
Yeah, he looked
Steppenwolf.
right.
He looks more like New 52 Steppenwolf.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm
It's
not
fine.
hating
It's
on
fine.
it.
It's fine.
It's right. It's fine enough. It's not enough.
I
for-
really
for
liked
me to-
Steppenwolf and New 52 because I was a big Earth 2 fan. And Desaad, and we'll talk a little bit about these mystery castings.
Yes.
For this, so the actors' names are you sent me
The two
a
actors.
message.
Yeah.
And it was there were two here, let me just pull it up right now. So you actually sent me the description for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And we have okay, here it is. So let me just read this. So where did you pull this from?
Directly from the announcement from San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, so this is the announcement. The superhero epic, so this is Justice League Unites on November 17, 2017. The superhero epic features a cast that includes Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, Henry Cavill as Kal-El Clark Kent, Gal
Superman.
Gadot as Superman, in parentheses, Superman, Batman,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot as Diana Prince, Jason Momoa as
Orin.
Oh, is that his?
That's his.
That's
yeah.
his Atlantean name.
Yep.
/ Arthur Curry Aquaman, Ezra Miller as Barry Allen the Flash, Ray Fisher as Victor Stone Cyborg, Syrian Hines as Steppenwolf, Amy Adams as Lois Lane, William Dafoe as Nuidus Volko. Who now? We knew that William Dafoe was going to be in the movie. Who do you know who this character is?
I didn't look it up.
Okay,
But well, forget it. I'm going to skip who I think it is.
Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor, Jeremy Irons as Alfred, Diane Lane as Martha Kent, Connie Nielsen as Queen Hippolyta, Robin Wright as General Antipy, J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Jim Gordon, Joe Morton as Dr. Silas Stone, Amber Heard as Mara, Billy Crudup as Dr. Henry Allen, and Kirstie Clemens as Iris West. Is that new?
That's new.
That's new.
Yep.
I did not realize Iris West was going to be.
Yep, she's in the movie.
And now here's the interesting, unspecified roles for Julian Lewis Jones and Michael McHatton.
Yep.
McElton.
Yep, who's from Game of Thrones.
Okay. So, and you had some theories on who.
Well, the look,
casting is.
Julian's look, like just his appearance from the pictures I googled, was very Desaad. However, if I had to guess that one of these two men were going to show up as a Green Lantern, I'm guessing Julian would show up as Hal.
Okay. Do you think so? First up, okay. Do you think we're going to see a Green Lantern cameo in this?
Yeah.
So
We might even get two.
They also announced. Oh, that's true because they also announced Green Lantern Corps, and I believe it's going to be a Hal, Jon Stewart, buddy cop movie type of thing. It's hopefully set in space.
I love it.
Get away from Earth. Do whatever their thing is. I would love a cameo in this movie from a Green Lantern, and Desaad. Now Desaad is another lieutenant of Darkseid, and works with Steppenwolf is Darkseid's uncle.
Yep.
Yeah, Darkseid's uncle. And we could even go deeper into the whole New Gods, Orion, Highfather relationship, but we won't go into all
But
of that.
what I like about Steppenwolf is he's the perfect character who is a totally viable threat on his own.
True, and he oftentimes in the comics is the guy that Darkseid sends in first.
Right, that's his origin.
Yeah, and
like,
he's
he's
like,
the one we meet first.
He's like, all right, we're gonna send this guy in first to soften them up, and then I'm gonna come in and conquer him. Desaad, can tell us a little bit about Desaad?
He's the one that does all the crazy evil experiments.
Yes, he's like he's like Darkseid's mad scientist, basically.
Yep.
He
He also gets a little mouthy every once in a while, and
he's
it
got an
backfires.
attitude about him. I'm most familiar with him again from New 52 Earth 2, his relationship with Power Girl and Huntress, and that whole there's I think a 3-issue arc where they're fighting him, and he's he might have a way back in between Earth 2 and Earth 1 or something like that, but it's great little storyline and a really fun interesting character. I would love to see Desaad in this movie. Yes. I think that's a great idea. Do you think we're going to see Darkseid in this movie?
No.
You think it's just going to be Steppenwolf, bringing in the Parademons, Desaad?
Maybe a little cameo of Darkseid.
Maybe like a little Avengers Thanos thing at the end?
Yes.
This used to be part 1 of a 2-part movie.
Right.
No longer the case.
Maybe it's better to...
No longer a Justice League 2 on the schedule.
Yep.
They did drop some mystery movies in 2020 that they have not officially announced.
I think not having Justice League 2 on the schedule is kind of ridiculous. Just, we needed Justice League 2.
Not having Man of Steel 2 on the schedule is a little ridiculous.
But we do have the Batman movie, right?
It's not on the schedule.
It's not. God, I don't know what they're doing.
I'm very happy about Matt Reeves as director. They addressed Ben Affleck right off the bat. You know, he said he would crawl on the floor as an ape for Matt Reeves, let alone play Batman, and he's committed to Batman. And I believe he said he will be Batman as long as Warner Brothers will let him. So,
because really, I actually like him.
I very much like him as Batman.
I think I've made it clear that I never had a problem with the casting.
Yeah.
It's the storytelling I'm not
It's
war
the
with.
execution of that character, the interpretation of that character from a directorial and script perspective. But I very much enjoy him as Batman. Here's the biggest question, though. $25 million extensive reshoots. This movie is scheduled to come out in less than 3 months.
Yep.
Do you think they're going to hit November 17th?
Yeah.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
That is a lot of work.
Of course it is. And the actors are all grumpy, for the reshoots. But, listen, I feel that this particular team on Justice League is there for success.
The panel reportedly was electric.
Yes.
That everybody, it was like a bunch of people getting together again, having a great time together, meaning the cast. They very much enjoy each other. They're very, we've seen some selfies on social media of all of them together, and they look like they're having a great time. And when I know from personal experience, when actors and crew have a good time on a set, that makes a good movie.
Yeah.
When you feel good enough on set, and you feel supported, and you feel like a team and a family on set, you make a good movie. And so that's why I'm very excited about this movie, and I think it's going to be really good. So, all right, let's dive into the last couple of big things to drop. Probably what I'm going to call the winner of Comic-Con.
It's the winner.
The Thor Ragnarok trailer.
It's so...
Because as far as anybody who wasn't there, I know probably Infinity War was the winner for people who were there.
Yep.
But for anybody who was not there, this trailer is off the chain, off the hammer. This thing is incredible. I cannot wait for this movie. It looks hysterical and funny. But again, it's got some serious notes.
Oh my God,
to
is
it.
Carl Urban playing Executioner?
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize
you didn't know
him.
That?
Oh
yeah.
my God, I love Carl Urban.
You didn't see the
love
scene
him.
where Hela and him are in the.
I did, but I didn't recognize him. He really looks like the character.
Great.
He looks great.
There's even him with the guns.
Yes.
Like this is some serious Kirbiness going on right
Yeah.
here. And this I mean, it appears as though so Thor has been with the Grandmaster fighting this Colosseum for 2 years now.
Really?
This is what they told us. Okay.
Wow.
Then Thor shows up. He's been on this. He goes back to. I'm assuming the way that this movie is going to break down is he goes back to Asgard. He goes back to Asgard at the end of Ultron. And then this movie picks up where maybe after he's discovered that Loki has taken over Asgard and whatever, and he's ousted him or whatever, and now he's looking for Odin because Doctor Strange is in this movie, and we saw the end of the
Of Doctor Strange's
the
film.
post-credit scene of Doctor Strange. I'm pretty sure the beginning of this movie is him going to find Odin to put everything back, and when he returns, possibly, you know, when he returns with Odin, Hela is there and she's about to
Yeah, well, she
eradicate the whole
destroys
place
his
up.
hammer. She destroys it. It looks like on the street.
On the street in New York City.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think she, and possibly he doesn't even get back to Asgard.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm starting to think.
I'm assuming that she attacks Asgard when there's no leadership there whatsoever.
Probably. And by the way, in the comics, she's Loki's daughter.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if they play that up in this movie, love to see it.
That would be very interesting. Kate Blanchett, by the way.
Fabulous.
And some of the visuals in this movie are just insane, with the Valkyries coming down.
Yep.
Hela
And we're
throwing
getting
sort of-
Valkyrie, the character.
I mean, and Thor's assembling his own mini Asgardian Avengers. Like, it's just incredible. And the big reveal at the end, Surtur.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hulk.
And Surtur like, roar.
And-
and the wolf too. All the elements,
yeah.
all the elements of Ragnarok
Yeah.
are there.
Yeah,
The only thing we didn't
yeah.
see was the serpent. So I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad.
I'm sure it'll be there. It'll all be in there. And I mean, it's just like, I love how they're going from this, oh, we're going to start the movie off with Planet Hulk, and then we're going to finish it off with Ragnarok. I mean, this is going to be insane. This is
No,
gonna
the
be
movie,
crazy.
it looks like it's going to be completely bonkers.
How do you feel about the Hulk talking so much?
I'm
as
fine.
Hulk? I'm fine with it too, because and that's one thing they established is that he's been there for 2 years. He's been fighting as the Hulk for a long periods of time, and now he doesn't want to go back to Banner. He's so pent up with rage and anger that he likes staying as the Hulk, and the dialogue is hysterical, so good. I mean, this reminds me of like,
Especially when he's like, we got into a fight. You know, I won. That doesn't sound right.
doesn't sound right. I won easily. And it even shows like Hulk throwing him into the wall or whatever. What I love is this, with the Hulk talking to Thor like that, it reminds me of like Hulk walking around Avengers Manor. Like, you know what I mean? And like doing stuff as the Hulk. And having conversations with Thor and Vision and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and like, you know.
You know, in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon series, Thor was never Banner, and every once in a while he'd come up with something very intelligent, and they would all be like, "Oh, okay," you know. I don't think we ever. In fact, in Hulk's Agents of Smash and Avengers Assemble cartoon series, I don't think we ever saw him revert back to Banner.
That's interesting. I mean,
You know?
I mean, Mark Ruffalo is amazing. He's certainly the best Hulk I think we've ever had, and one of the best decisions that Marvel ever made. And this movie looks incredible. The trailer for me won. This is probably the best trailer for me, including the one we're about to talk about. I think this trailer was the best one.
Oh yeah. Now, however, but I mean, it's different levels of hype. The one we're about to talk about, I think the hype level was
So let's jump into it. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. But oh man, Adam, throw that thing up there. Look at that.
Oh, man.
This is 4 posters, 3 posters, 6 posters, 5 posters. This is several posters put together into one giant.
I feel like it's only 3
montage.
posters put together.
So let's rattle off. We see some Groot rocket action. We see Thor, Loki, Drax, Star-Lord, Vision, Scarlet Witch, a blonde Black Widow,
A blonde Black Widow.
a nomad-looking Steve Rogers. Just off screen there is the Falcon,
Yep.
and then on the other side we got Hulk, Hawkeye, Bucky. Just off screen is War Machine, Black Panther,
Armored Spider-Man.
Iron Spider,
Yep.
Doctor Strange, Mantis,
Gamora.
Gamora, Iron Man, and then just off screen is Nebula.
Yep. And right in the center, we got Purple Bruce Willis.
So, oh my gosh,
Why?
that looks like
Why did they make this artistic choice?
that is Infinity War John McClane if I have ever seen him.
Jeez.
This is Avengers Die Hard with a vengeance.
Like, I couldn't. That's the thing I could not get over. I could not get over that. You know, he had the cool crown thing.
He
and
looks
everything.
amazing in
Guardians of the
Guardians
Galaxy.
and at the end of Avengers. Why? Anyway, I'm sure there's a reason, and a very good reason.
I hope, I don't know. I hope we see him look a little bit. At least give him the headpiece from Guardians. Like, I missed that because I was like, look at this, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Now, the other thing
Okay.
is, and we talked about this a little last week, the Black Order was revealed. And
which there's a
Ebony
little
Maw-
taste.
Yeah,
There's a little
him.
taste of them.
Adam, can you throw that back up real quick? At the bottom here, we've got Ebony Maw, we've got Proxima Midnight, and I forget the names of the other two. But
I don't see Supergiant. I thought she was going to be included.
Is that not Supergiant to the right?
No, that's the other. That's Corvus Glaive.
Oh, Corvus Glaive. Right. I love his hero clicks, by the way.
Oh yeah, all their
Corvus
clicks
Glaive. Yeah,
were
all
great
their clicks
together.
were great. Black Order, that was
But yeah,
great.
but no, it's like
Oh, maybe the big one is Supergiant.
no, Supergiant was a woman. The big one is what's his name is Obsidian. Call Obsidian.
Oh, right. So I'm excited. I think that was a great. I read much of that Infinity series, that Infinity run by Jonathan Hickman, one of my favorite.
Which
comic
it was
writers.
great. It was great.
This is so exciting. Looking forward to it. You and I got to see some leaked footage of this trailer.
Yep.
Impressions.
Good. I mean, like it was.
It was
like,
at a terrible angle, but
I know, but you knew
it
what was
almost
going on.
didn't matter because
You know.
we read the description several times. We
Yes.
mined the information. Then we saw the images. We saw the trailer. We heard the excitement from the crowd.
Yep.
And man, oh man, this is just
It's exactly what you said. It's
2.5
exactly what you said.
hours plus runtime.
Yeah. It's exactly what you said though. The last time people were this excited was Avengers.
Yep.
And now we've officially repeat with people genuinely excited to see this film. Like, we've been teasing you with Thanos since the end of Phase 1, right? Because Avengers ends Phase 1, I believe.
Yep.
Right? We've been teasing you since Phase 1. We're like in Phase 4 now or something, or the end of Phase 3.
We're at the end of Phase 3.
And here you are. Just big, crazy, out of this world stuff.
The fourth Avengers movie will be the last movie in Phase 3.
Okay.
And then Spider-Man Homecoming 2 will be the first movie in Phase 4. And in between, we got an announcement. Captain Marvel, set in the 90s with, surprise, Skrulls.
And other surprise, Nick Fury with 2 eyes.
Nick Fury looking at you right here. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's technically a prequel to everything.
Yeah.
Except for, like, you know...
Captain America.
Captain America, the First Avenger, and Agent Carter. But on this scale, within the movie cinematic universe, other than the First Avenger, this is going to be an interesting dynamic because this is really the first time they've ever done this. They sort of touched on it a little bit in Ant-Man, where like there was this sort of like secret ops Ant-Man with Hank Pym. And the other announcement, Janet Van Dyne.
Yes.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I know, which means they're going to find her. I hope.
Or, I mean, this movie is called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well, no, because what's her name will be the Wasp, her daughter.
But the movie's called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes. Right.
And how many Ant-Mans and the Wasps do we have?
I mean, we'll have... Oh, right, we're going to have 2 and 2.
Exactly.
It's going to be good.
There could be, like, a significant portion of this movie could take place in the 60s.
Oh, right,
With
show
Hank
us-
Pym, with a de-aged Michael Douglas, de-aged Michelle Pfeiffer,
Yep.
going on these secret ops missions, possibly the lead up
Or
to the
the
mission
final-
that she was,
yeah.
that she was lost on, and then maybe going back and finding her or flashbacks. I mean, we don't know.
All I can
But
think
we
is
hope has a
he's
mom.
he's so mentally distraught when we leave him, right? In the first Ant-Man film. So like I think if like this movie opens where they're like trying to explore the microverse, that would be really creepy. And like he's using all this because he knows how what's his name escaped, right? So he's like, well, if we explore the microverse and we find her, we could bring her back.
And this will be post Infinity War.
Yeah, unless she got out on her own.
And post Ant-Man, and you know who's missing from this poster?
Is Ant-Man?
Oh, he's in there somewhere. He's tiny. He's got to be in there somewhere.
I mean, Groot and Rocket are there.
He's got to be in there somewhere. He's tiny somewhere. We'll find him. We'll find him and let you know where he is. So this is, I mean, he's probably going to be with these guys, right? I'm assuming he's in this movie.
I'm assuming
Everybody's
too.
in this movie. So he's going to have met Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange is the other person who might know a little thing or two about the quantum universe. You're trying to find him, aren't you?
I'm trying so hard to find him.
It's like a Where's Waldo.
It really is. I'm like, whose shoulder is he on? Who would he, like, he wouldn't, I mean, he'd be on Cap's side, right?
I don't think, I mean, he could be anywhere.
Because he teamed up with Cap. You know what's really funny? The way that this poster is broken up, like, imagine if they're all on separate, they are separate teams of Avengers, and they are facing separate versions of, you know, of Thanos' Black Order, like
the team decides to separate. And
not
go.
even, like, it's happening. Like, it's happening, and just,
yeah, but I
they
mean,
scramble.
you've got Bucky on one side and Cap on the other, and I think
they're not together when it happens.
True. Bucky. Would,
Remember,
in theory,
last we
be
saw
in,
Bucky
in Wakanda.
in Wakanda.
Right.
So why wouldn't he be teaming up with Black Panther?
True.
You know, and then Rhodey could just be
But
like,
Hulk and Thor get separated.
why not? We don't know what happens at the end of Thor Ragnarok.
That's true because so this trailer starts, by the way,
Yeah,
with Thor floating through space
and just smacking into the Guardian
smacking
ship.
into the Guardian ship. We sort of explained this last week,
Yeah,
but
like roadkill.
like roadkill. They wake him up, and Spider-Man on the bus.
Yes.
Captain America with the beard. I mean, this typically when they drop a poster like this.
By the
it
way,
means
with
the trailer's coming.
the star ripped from his chest, if you notice.
That's true, and you can see it right in the poster too.
Yeah, if you take a close
So
look.
this is going to be, there it is right there. You can sort of see the top of the star, and this looks similar to his Winter Soldier uniform.
Yeah.
Without the star, without the
Yep.
white star. I'm so excited for this. If they don't drop a trailer soon, I am literally going to.
You know the trailer. You know the trailer is going to drop in November.
No, that's too late.
It's around the freaking corner. Just start Christmas
So
shopping
they just
now.
dropped. So they just dropped the poster, which typically means that a trailer shouldn't be far behind.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like Captain
rumor
America
has
told
it-
you, have some patience.
There's a meme going around about that. They're
Yeah.
like, you haven't seen the Infinity War trailer,
Yep.
and then it shows him have
patience.
patience. I think there's rumors that it's coming this week, that it's going to be officially released. At the end of
Okay,
this week.
but like that's super soon, but sure, why not?
It's not super. It's less than a year away.
No, I get it, but I mean, like, the
Oh, you mean
comic,
soon after
right?
Comic-Con?
Soon after Comic-Con.
There's no more major conventions until the movie comes out.
New York
Just give it to
Comic-Con
us
is
already.
New York Comic-Con is October.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna be there,
Yes.
along with our buddy Joe, hopefully. So, yeah, but still, I mean, like by then, 2 conventions worth of people have seen it. Thousands of people have seen this.
I know, but then like there'll be more. Like the New York Comic-Con drop should be.
Are you gonna stand in line to see this in New York Comic Con?
If we're depending on how busy we are.
If we get media passes, we're getting right in there.
But I want to interview people.
Well, yeah, but
I'm just if
you
it,
can interview people. I'm gonna go watch this.
That's fine. I'm just saying, like, meeting people, talking to them about their creative process, what projects are coming, or how exciting their current project is. That's more.
Yeah.
That's more to me.
Super excited. All the announcements from Marvel were fantastic. They're an empire. They're royalty. I mean, they literally.
I will tell you, this is the first year that normally it's like, oh, Marvel won the show. And this is the first year where I didn't feel Marvel straight up won. I feel like maybe Thor won. But I feel like DC didn't come out sore losers.
I agree. I think that.
Oh my god, especially all the human moments, right?
Yeah.
The little girl who approached Gal Gadot
at the
Gadot. I mean, the boy, the young man with I think cerebral palsy who approached the entire cast of Justice League. Mm-hmm. The girl who's battling cancer who got Stephen Amell's arrow necklace, and he said, "I'll see you next year, and you bring it back to me." Those moments on the DC side were just reflective of the superhero-ness spirits, and so even if they lost the battle of movie trailers. They won the heroism award.
And I'll tell you, the Justice League trailer was amazing. Larry's saying, don't forget about Rhode Island Comic Con. That's a big one.
Look worthy, but not the news dropper.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, Terrificon is huge coming
That's true,
in October. We've got some fantastic shows coming up with great guests, but none of them are the news.
New York is the big one, and you know, it's so late in, like, not a lot usually drops big at New York.
I don't know, but like the freaking Rick and Morty thing exploded. Yeah. Like, you know, New York has its own little crazy dynamic. It really does. You know,
I very much enjoy New York Comic Con. So
yeah.
So overall, let's wrap it up. Overall, San Diego Comic Con. How do you feel this year compared with other years?
I think it was a good year. I think it was a strong year.
I think it was a very strong year. Yeah. A lot of people were concerned about D23 being the week before. You know.
Oh, I know. That was a warm-up game.
Let me tell you, I think they kept Star Wars for D23, which is fine. And they also had Star Wars Celebration earlier this year, which I fortunately got to go to. And then I think it was one of the best, from somebody who did not physically attend, which it's hard for us to get out to the West Coast, but I thought it was one of the best, most successful, most exciting Comic-Cons that we've had in a long time. I think that Thor trailer, out of all the ones that were officially released, I feel like one Comic-Con, but that Justice League trailer was, you know, was no spring chicken. I mean, that thing was just as exciting and good as anything that Marvel could have produced. It's just the take on this Thor is just.
And we were talking about this Kirby-assness, and like I said, visually there's more Kirby going on. You know, I just visually here, I love what's happening. I wish there was just a bit more Jim Starlin, like, oomph.
Yeah. I think that I'm looking forward to New York Comic Con. I'm hoping they bring a lot of this stuff out there too, which they usually do. I'm gonna get myself a Lockjaw plush. I got a Rocket plush a couple years ago when Guardians was big. Just so excited. I really hope that Justice League makes its November release date because, as we say a lot of times, we're big DC guys, big DC fans. I have been waiting for a Justice League movie for a very long time. And I am personally probably just as excited about this Justice League movie. I'm definitely more excited about Justice League than I was about the first Avengers. And I was really excited about the first Avengers. Infinity War is a little different because it's the culmination of
so much.
10 years of storytelling.
Yep.
I mean, this is like the most epic, biggest story event I think that, you know, we've ever had. They're not the first to do a connected universe. I truly believe Star Trek was the first to do that.
But they're the first to do it from comics.
They're the first to do it from comics, yeah. And to do it like this, in the comic fashion, is incredible. And to have that vision, to start it off early with the post-credit scene in Iron Man, inventing post-credit scenes with Iron Man.
Reinventing them. Masters of the Universe did it.
Oh, really?
Yep, and even though it went nowhere, Skeletor came out of the vat of fluid at the bottom of Castle Grayskull and said, "I'll be back." But no, Frank Langella, no, you weren't. Not for that movie.
He also had a part in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
He also was in Superman Returns as Perry White.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
he was. So, looking forward to New York Comic Con.
Yes.
Looking forward to the Avengers Infinity War trailer when it releases. Any other thoughts before we say goodnight?
It was a lot, and I really thought we could do it. We still did a 2.5 hour freaking show.
I know.
Was awesome.
You wanted to do a full show plus this.
I wanted to do a little bit less than this because I feel like, you know, we're like the last horse at the track.
I know, but we're the best horse.
We're a good horse.
We're the best horse. People like our take on stuff.
I hope they do.
I mean, I hope so, or else I don't know why we're talking to you guys.
I know. Yeah, really. Please like our stuff. Please subscribe. Please watch.
Larry also says that he wants to see Justice League, and after the trailer, So I think he's saying that after BVS, he wasn't that excited about it.
Right, that's what I felt.
But now after seeing this trailer, he's excited about it, and he really wants to see it. So I agree, Larry. I'm so excited to see all these characters on screen, and they were off to a rocky start. I honestly believe, though, that once this universe continues and expands, I think it'll be successful. We'll look back at this arc as part of the story that you got to go through hell before you can get to heaven. You got to go through the darkness before you can get to the light, and I think it'll be.
You got to go through bad directing and storytelling till you get to something fresh and exciting.
So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll do this again next year, or actually we'll do it after New York Comic Con. If there's any big news for that, hopefully we'll have some great interviews and some special videos coming out of New York Comic Con for you guys, because we'll be there on the ground in Artist Alley.
I won't do full frontal. And
on that note, I'm Tony Cox.
I'm Clifford Parmenter.
And you've been watching Read, Watch, Play. Have a good night, and we'll catch you next time. KerwinsGameStore.com is the online source for your gaming needs. We stock sealed products and card singles from Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Weiss Schwartz. We also carry singles for HeroClix and Star Wars Destiny. With our free economy shipping on all orders and responsive customer service, you get more of the games you want hassle-free. Shop KerwinsGameStore.com today and see why we are the best place in gaming.